Today's episode of the Nateland Podcast is brought to you by ZocDoc, BetterHelp, Vuori Clothing, and Delete Me. Hello, folks, and hey, Bear. Welcome to the Nateland Podcast. I'm Nate. Brian Bates, Aaron Weber, Dusty Slay. We're all back. We're all back. My voice is hopefully gets better. This is episode 200. Yeah.
200.
Yeah. Who would have thunk it?
Not me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you feel? 60?
I thought we were going to get to the end of 2020 and you would go, all right.
Yeah.
The world's back to normal.
Yeah.
See you guys later.
Yeah, but it wasn't back to normal at the end of 2020, though.
No.
So.
But he's asking when we started what
When
we
we
thought.
started, I thought,
yeah.
it was 2
You
weeks.
were way off on a lot of stuff.
I was
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I was too, yeah.
Yeah.
2 weeks, and then we go.
Once we get past these 2 weeks, everything will be back to normal. Nate will be back on the road, and it will be a fun memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here
To
we
be
are,
fair,
200 episodes later.
I thought we'd never get back to normal. So you guys are right, more right than me, I guess. on
Yeah.
that one. So
You're not back to normal.
Well,
I think it sent you down a different
to
path.
some degree. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I saw that how quick it can go downhill.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think it changed a lot of people, especially, I think it
Yeah.
did change you.
yeah.
And then,
Well, now I know how fast
yeah.
that it would be.
It verified some beliefs you had.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
100%.
Strengthened
Yeah.
some stuff.
I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
like, that's what I've been talking about for years.
Yeah.
yeah.
Is it hard not to say I told you so?
Yeah, a lot of times it is.
Yeah.
But some people still they're not even awake to it. They don't have
Yeah.
any idea.
Yeah.
They don't know what's happening.
They don't know.
They go, that was crazy, huh?
Yeah. The fun time.
Yeah.
Well, we're here, all here. I'm back. I've been gone. I've been gone 1 month.
It's crazy.
1 month from home. I did see Lauren Harper during that. I wasn't just gone, but it was I was gone, but I had him come out a month. Yeah.
A month without sleeping in your own bed, you know?
I mean, it was a whirlwind. I knew this was coming, so it's like, I'll be done in July with the big bulk of the touring like this. So I knew it was coming. So it was, it was like I knew this was going to be a crazy run. And there's a lot of stuff. It's like that's the stuff that random stuff kind of happens where you have to. It's like I would have been going home, but then we had that Seinfeld Sebastian show, and then it's like the next week I get asked to do this Letterman and Mulaney thing. Which you saw that I did an interview with Letterman. It was not filmed though. So a lot of people thought, because he does a thing that's filmed on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
This wasn't. It was just a live show. And so it was like you just had that kind of stuff. Then it was like I couldn't really get home in between. And, you just get stuck out. Last night I did a charity event, the Robin Hood event. That's what shirt I'm wearing in New York. They do with poverty in New York City. And
You guys went around and stole from rich people and gave it to the poor people?
yep.
All right.
It is. Well, it's rich people giving to the poor people.
Okay.
They raised $68 million. Yeah.
A little bit different than ours last night.
Yeah. Yeah.
We raised 6,000.
Yeah. Even our charity work is different. Y'all have.
Aaron and I were so proud. We were patting each other on the
Yeah.
back. We did it.
We beat the $5,000 goal. last
Yeah.
night in our-
That is. Yeah, that is.
Y'all beat us by 67 million, whatever the rest of that
It's
is.
funny.
Basically 68 million.
Yeah.
Basically
Just say
beat you
68.
by
About 68 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a rounding error.
Yeah.
That is very funny. Well, they had probably you. Who's on y'all's show? And I'll tell you who's on our show.
Me, Brian, John Christ.
All right.
Yeah.
Who's the poor people getting the money, though?
Huh?
Can we sign up people to get money?
It's.
I got some poor people that I would like to sign up.
Yeah. I don't know if you're allowed to just put names in a hat.
Yeah, I mean, who's
But-
getting it?
Yeah, it's a big thing they've done. It's like the biggest charity event that they do in New York, and they've done it for years. Everybody's done it. Last night was it went Mumford and Sons, then me, then Post Malone.
Wow.
Dude, how great would it
Me,
have been
Aaron,
though,
and
if I
John
was like,
Christ.
what'd y'all raise? We go, $7,000. I was like, so we beat you still, but it's,
It was tight.
we're trying to fix one family a little bit.
Yeah,
not
a little
even
bit,
not
yeah.
even the whole.
In New York, maybe just pay their rent for a month.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, it's there. Yeah, I met Post Malone. His tour manager, his in-law is a girl that I graduated with in high school.
Really?
Yeah. So last night in the Javits Center is where we did the show. And again, it's like I think it's all Wall Street people. Like I don't, I'm asked to perform,
Mhm.
and so that's a big, big event. And I think every comic's ever, Seinfeld, Gaffigan, Up the Line, every artist, Paul McCartney's done. Like it's just a big, big one of their big charity events, and somebody said the Post Malone's tour manager wanted to say hi to us. And then it was like he went to high school or something, something like that. So then we get there and we realize he tells us who it is. And it's a girl, Angela, that I graduated with. She was in our class. So it was crazy to be like, he's DCA. I graduated 56 people. He's there. Travis, who graduated, is my tour manager, Travis. We graduated together. And then me and DCA. It's crazy to be like out of 56 people, you're like, there's 2 people from the class and one that's a in-law of someone from our class,
Mhm.
and we're all in the same Javits.
I feel like I meet so many people on the road that went to high school with you. Maybe not in your class, but at least
they
went to DCA. It's a small school.
It's a small school.
Yeah, guy at the
That's great.
Hermitage Lowe's kept talking to me about you the other day. Going
Yeah.
to school with you. Yeah. They're
That's
all
great.
over the place.
Yeah, and we're not a lot, but we are loud,
Yeah.
and we will tell you where we went to school.
Yeah.
It was super. That I love that stuff, and the whole I met Post Malone, very nice.
He was cool. Everybody says he's great.
He's really nice.
Yeah.
Really, really, really.
When we were
nice.
at the Comedy Store at the festival,
Yeah.
he showed up when we were there, but I didn't even see him. It was just a swarm around him.
Yeah.
Moving around. Then I was like, it's probably time for me to get out of here.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, did you leave?
I just
Wait,
left.
did you? No, but you stayed till
I stayed for a bit.
Yeah,
I stayed
yeah.
for like 1 o'clock.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it was
We were
just
there. We
everywhere I
left right
looked
after
was-
you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
But he was with us. Aaron, we had half the Nateland crew in the Comedy Store,
Yeah.
and we were mixing it up by
Really?
hanging in a corner. We're more of a corner people.
Yeah. I love a corner, dude.
We love a nice corner.
Out of the way.
Yeah. Talk
Yeah.
about the people around you. Try to have no one come up to you.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
It's easier for me
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
it is for Nate.
Yeah. Aaron was in the middle, and people just walked around him. They were more frustrated that he went and moved out of the way.
That's why I left. It's so packed. You're like, I'm contributing nothing, taking up space.
It is. We were at one point. We were hanging out, and it was like me, you, Nikki Glazer, and but it's also. I mean, you're younger, but it's not like you're a big drinker, and like I don't. It's a big drinking thing, and we don't drink, and are older, and so you're just kind of like. You realize like you're old. Soder and I talked to Soder last night, and him and Jay were talking about. You're like, yeah, you just don't. Unless you're a big partier still, and you're in your 40s. There's only so long you're going to hang out with the younger, because even though they're your buddies, it's like once you have fun, and then they flip to turn it on, and then you're kind of like,
Mhm.
all right, well, I don't want to do.
I
this.
get there quick.
Yeah, yeah.
There we go. As soon as
Look
I
at
saw
us,
that,
Andy Letterman.
as soon as that picture got taken, I was
That's
like,
a good
all right,
picture.
I need
Wow,
to-
you look so tall there.
Yeah,
Look-
hey,
look
guy
at you.
that doesn't know how to look at the right camera.
Yeah,
Wow,
exactly.
look at that.
I was looking at the flash. Dude.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
new
like
to
a-
all this. I'm
you're
new to
like a-
Hollywood.
you're
dude.
like
How tall
a
is that
monster
flash?
in there.
You have
Look
the
at that.
exact same outfit on.
Dude.
Yeah.
Same jeans.
Isn't
too.
it? Yeah. Isn't it crazy that you can tell, even though it's a black and
Yeah,
white photo,
so funny.
you tell
Wow.
your outfit still is like, you could lie and you're like, nah, I think that's it, and I
Same
can't
one.
even tell the color.
It's the same white t-shirt.
White T-shirt.
Wow. Dang, dude.
He's got a uniform. Yeah, it was right after
Is this-
Nikki on the roast. She destroyed the roast.
Your hand?
Where?
Man,
Oh, on
no,
me?
I
What
don't
is
know.
that?
I don't know what's going on.
What
I
is
think
that
it
behind
is.
Annie
I
there?
don't know what's going on.
I think it is Aaron's hand, and I felt there's Post Malone, Hinchcliffe. See, that was in the other room.
that was the nucleus that just moved around.
Yeah, yeah, and that's like, well, unless you're doing that, you're kind of like, all right. Even though it's fun, we were with Shane earlier, and then it's like he kind of got in his element with this. and then you kind of go, all right.
I love that he's trying to do this. Like, I'm just a good old boy that likes fishing look now.
Post
Yeah.
Malone. He's I don't know what his. He's a very very
might like to
nice
fish.
person. Yeah,
Well, maybe.
yeah, he might fish. I
He's
don't
into
know.
Joe Diffie stuff now.
Yeah, man. He's
Yeah.
doing country now, man.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
making good stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, you imagine that all those tattoos, fishing.
that's what I'm saying.
You go, maybe he just puts his face in the water and then fish.
Yeah, it's like a little, it's like lures.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And then,
It's a new type of fish. You just put
Yeah.
your face in there.
yeah,
then
it's
you
like
just
that
bite
fishing.
the fish.
You ever do that fish where you
Noodling.
put
I've
noodle?
never done that.
Would
but
you do it?
I don't know. No, I don't think so.
No, you do it once, man. If you were in a group, you could get
I'm
peer
not-
pressured into that.
I'm
You
not
should get
really
beer.
into that.
Huh?
Letting the fish, like you mean the fish comes up and bites
Yeah.
around?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think those
Ah.
people are too far for even you?
Yeah.
You're in the middle.
In that area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you
Yeah.
were with 4 of them and they were calling you a coward, you wouldn't jump down there and do it?
No. If
Oh,
I were,
that's all it would
I
take
would,
for me.
I would be like, if I were on their boat, I'd be like, go ahead and take me back.
Mm.
And but if I were still drinking, maybe.
I think you do it from the bank.
Yeah, maybe. I just don't want. I don't like I don't want the fish.
You 15 years ago, you'd have been all over this.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Okay.
But now I'd be. If they say, "Oh, you're a
think you would.
coward," I'd be like, "I'm gonna go on back," and then I'll probably not talk to you guys ever again.
Yeah, I think 15 years ago you would have had a tent setting up selling. Hey, do you want to go noodling? People would have bought it as family groups.
Yeah, if I could have some money
Mhm.
and still be a drinker, yeah, I would have done a lot more.
Yeah.
I'd have a lot of.
Go
things
back to
do.
your picture of us.
Okay.
Because I do believe that's Aaron's hand. Because I think I remember
Oh, I
thinking, why is Aaron touching this high on my shoulder?
can. Oh, yeah.
And I do remember that.
It looks
Oh,
like
yeah.
And it
Oh,
felt
that
high.
one right
I don't
there?
think that's
Yeah.
Nikki's hand.
No.
So
that's-
Maybe
But
it
he's
is
got-
Nikki's hand.
looks like a werewolf hand.
I thought I remember feeling
Yeah.
Aaron's hand higher than Aaron doesn't feel like a guy that Aaron doesn't want to hug you, even though he's a very huggable. He looks huggable.
Yeah.
Aaron doesn't want. It's more like a bear where you're like just back. You're back off it. Like sometimes you get to play with it, but then a lot of times,
Yeah.
if his family's near, it's back away.
Yeah, give him
Yeah.
some space.
Give him
Yeah.
some space.
Yeah, I agree with that. He looks like a guy you want to give a hug to, but he doesn't want to do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. But you're like, I mean, after you walk in, going like, I guess I have to hug this guy
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's what he looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not a shaker, I'm a hugger.
Yeah, yeah.
A bear hugger.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Netflix joke. The whole festival was very fun. I mean, it was crazy. Seinfeld show was crazy.
Now, last time you were here, I guess 2 weeks ago, you talked about the order, and we
Yeah.
all said, we all agree you should probably go you.
It was Sebastian, me, Gaffigan, Seinfeld, and then the next night we even switched who could grab first.
Mhm.
I think I grabbed first, and I grabbed one, and then it was Seinfeld got 4, Gaffigan got 3, and Sebastian got 2. And so it was unless Gaffigan and Seinfeld knew something
Mhm.
and they did something without us knowing, but I don't think they would.
I just do think it's funny that it's like Seinfeld. The one guy you would, to me, I would think he would be like, nah, I want to headline this.
I don't
And
think
then he goes, oh, headlining.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Yeah. I don't think it was a matter of him wanting to. We would tell him afterwards. We're like, you should be going last, and he's like, I think he just wants to do a show and go up whenever. He is like someone that's like he doesn't have an ego. He doesn't really have to have an ego because his career is ego. Like it's the career is so big and he's so big that he doesn't have to be like, yeah, he can go up whenever he wants. I'm Jerry Seinfeld, like and he doesn't act like that. But you're like everybody knows you're basically the reason all of us are doing comedy. So I mean, dude, and he destroyed. I tell you that 70 years old, went up, murdered. That whole line, it was just like
He's
a crazy
70.
70.
Wow, he
Looks
good.
great.
Yeah.
Looks
Great
really
for
good.
Fun. We had a wonderful. We all hung. We got a lot of video of it. We'll see if we ever get it out. But we had Mike Lavin, who's out with me, was out there filming, and it was. I mean, it was just a super fun. Sebastian's got a great. I mean, everybody's so funny. I'll tell you what, Gaffigan's very, very funny, and you always known he's funny, but Gaffigan's a very funny person. And I know I'm saying this like I've known him forever. I've been around him, but it's like it's like we always get to hang out in very small parts. So we were around each other for a few hours each night. Gaffigan's he's a funny person. And then in his act, he's got some great stuff, some new stuff that I've heard. And Sebastian was kind of back. I felt like, not that he was not back, but it was the Sebastian you wanted. Like, it was like great. It was just him talking about going to Universal with his kids. And I mean, it was awesome. It was crazy because everybody just destroys. And, it's like a crazy show to.
How long was the show?
We each did like 25 minutes.
Okay.
So, and then we went up top and did 10. So probably 2-hour show. But you don't start till. Show's supposed to start at 7. Doesn't start till, I forget what it was, 7. It might have been an hour late. I don't know. Because the way the bowl is set up, I think everybody that goes there, it's like one of those, you got to check your frustrations at the door. And it's probably Red Rock's the same way. Just this is your night. So get there. You're gonna walk to your seat. It's a whole thing. But the crowd was awesome, and yeah, it was a pretty, obviously it's a very special night. So yeah,
It's amazing.
yeah. But where'd this $6,000 go?
It went to.
Yeah, where does it go?
It goes a
Where
very,
does it go? Yeah.
very great.
We're not
organization.
worried. We know where the 68 million's going.
Right.
Yeah.
It's where's the $6,000 going?
Yeah.
That's where they get you.
It's called the Laundry Project, and it is
Yeah.
a very good organization that help wash clothes for homeless,
Low-income families.
low-income families.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I had a much smaller show at the Netflix's Joke Festival, but look at this lineup, huh? Greg Warren,
Wow.
and then Nate popped in.
Wow. Look at
Wow.
How
that.
about that?
Oh yeah.
Fun little show for 55 people, but
It was great.
It was unreal.
It was
That's
unreal.
hot.
Yeah.
You
Sat and watched
you didn't really
Aaron's
get-
whole set.
You didn't really give Laura Peak a lot of attention.
Well, she hasn't been on Nateland before, but Laura Peak.
Yeah,
was
Laura
great.
Peak was
That's our,
there.
That's
Yeah.
our friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You watch
yeah.
Aaron's set?
All Nashville. I did. I sat in the back and watched.
How was it?
I had nowhere to go, so
Yeah.
You have a
Yeah.
call to make or anything?
and it was late.
The one
you know.
time.
Our boy Greg Garcia came, which was very, which was cool, and so we just, it was very fun to watch your set. Like I said, it was very, your Aaron's great, and it was fun it just reminded me a lot of when I was 8. What are you, 8 years?
8 years, yeah.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot when I was 8 years in. Like it was like nice to get to watch it and be like, I really felt, like I remember going up and you're headlining rooms that are 55 people, and that's normal and it's not crazy, and
Yeah.
it was sold out for and I mean there's people not selling out even a 55 seat room, and especially with everything that's going on. So a lot of people there. He wouldn't take his backpack off for this picture.
You got
R.A.
it strapped
Shafir
in there in the
came.
front too.
I always strap in the front.
Okay.
Yeah,
It takes the pressure off the shoulders. Dude.
yeah. What was in the backpack?
The CPAP.
Yeah, you bring it for
In
the.
case he falls asleep during a show.
Yeah,
in case I need to take a nap in the green room?
as they take one last hit before you go up. You go.
It's not an oxygen tank.
Yeah,
I had a change of clothes in there. I had my phone
yeah.
charger.
Oh, that's what I
Yeah.
told him. Yeah, he comes in wearing clothes, and then he goes, "I gotta get ready for the show," and just pulls out these same clothes and puts them on.
It's got a uniform.
Yeah, it's not. It wasn't that different. It wasn't like he went from this thing to this other thing. It was basically the same clothes, and then so he changed into it. But yeah, Aaron, he did great, and
Thank
it was super fun. We went and had some pizza afterwards. A little fun hang afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great week. Great.
Yeah.
Good too. Yeah. LA's awesome when it's like that.
It was
Yeah.
it was very fun. It made LA very fun
Mm-hmm.
because LA can be, it can be not as fun, or it's you feel like you need to be doing something when you're in LA, or you feel like a loser if you don't live there.
Mm-hmm.
This festival went on forever, though.
2
Last
weeks.
week, I talked about my time there.
Yeah.
And then yesterday, I saw somebody posting about the Netflix festival. I was like, is this thing still
Yeah,
going?
Yeah. It's 2 weeks.
Is this just from now
Mhm.
on?
Yeah. Yeah. They do it every 2 weeks. It's it's a fun. You get to see people. You don't get to see them as like I would have. But it was nice to be like every night you really could go see a friend was performing, someone I would have known, and it's where it's Aaron. I mean, I wasn't there when you were there, but like you were, if I was there, you would have been, everybody kind of had a night where you like every night it wasn't like one night you'd be like, well, I don't know anybody. It was always like someone, and you could be like, oh, I'll go see what they're up to. And so, yeah, it was a wonderful, wonderful time. Yeah. So.
Good deal.
Well, I was off this weekend. I did not go to any parties like that, but I did go to one of the hottest parties I've ever been to.
What?
Daisy Slay, 3-year-old birthday party.
Oh,
It was
wow.
off.
It was a hot party this Saturday.
Yeah.
My daughter turned 3.
Oh man.
I
Yeah.
got to tell you something, though. That ball pit was weak. Kids are getting hurt. There's like 20 balls in there.
Well,
Kids
we
are
went to
injuring themselves.
Academy Sports. We bought all the balls they had, and 3 bags. Still not enough.
And so you like to have a ball pit where kids just are going to hit the ground.
Yes.
A kid got hurt. Like he twisted his
Yeah.
ankle.
Oh yeah, that's my little cousin or my
Yeah.
little nephew though.
He's
Fine.
got to learn.
He's fine.
Yeah, he was fine,
Mhm.
and
It's like
it was good. I built I put a trampoline together, and
It's like a.
Full size trampoline.
oh yeah,
Oh, amazing.
yeah.
It's like you let the kids only go swim on the ocean, the part where it stops and then starts going back in.
Well,
and you're like,
and there's a lot of rocks,
and
in
there's a
there.
lot of rocks.
Yeah.
And you go, but can we go in a little deep? You're like, no. You can
stay right
You can
here.
do all full dives, but only at this level.
Yes.
Could you see the floor of the ball
I
pit?
mean,
Yeah. Well, there's a pit.
Oh wow!
I mean, that's
Wow.
Eleanor with Daisy, and I
Yeah.
mean, they are sad.
Well, of
That's-
all the Daisy's happy. Daisy loved it.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, no, I'm joking. It was,
Yeah.
No, it was a great
That's
party.
probably a
Yeah.
blast to
We
sit
had a
and play
cake.
with.
We
Yeah.
had all beef hot dogs. We had
A
hamburgers.
keg?
Cake. A
Cake.
cake.
Oh,
I told you it was
I was
wild.
like,
Yeah, yeah, we had.
I go.
Yeah, we got. I've
an
been.
open bar. It
Daisy
was
drinks,
crazy.
but her,
Yeah.
she started when you started.
That's right.
yeah.
That's right. And I've been trying to collect families with young kids.
Yeah.
So I managed to wrangle up a
All right.
few, and
So I'll get the invite next year, hopefully.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
next year to my son's birthday because my son
Oh.
will be about the age of your daughter.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
my son will be a year next month, but they'll
Amazing.
be close.
Amazing.
Yeah.
yeah. He hasn't had his baby yet.
Yeah, but they'll be close.
His baby's
Oh,
due in
Saying
October.
next year.
Yeah.
Next year will be close.
Yeah. They'll be close-ish.
Well, we'll get some. So I guess the thing is, Aaron, if
Bring-
you don't mind bringing some other balls.
Yeah, bring some balls. I mean,
it wouldn't be bad if everybody
Well,
brought some balls.
I was at Academy Sports. I go, you got any more of those balls? He goes, if they ain't on the shelf, we ain't got them. And I'm like, well, at least look, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Did he have them?
he didn't look.
Oh,
I was like, you got no back stock here? You got nothing in the back? This is everything's out here.
I feel like stores leave stuff out more. Like now, there's not much. It used to be, you'd always be like, well, check the back. And they're like, yeah, dude, we're loaded in the back. But now, I think you ask and they're like, there is no back.
Or
Yeah.
they're putting more in the front now and less in the back.
I don't. Yeah, it's like they're not stocking stuff, so they don't. It's like out there to be sold, and then it doesn't.
Yeah.
But there's not an abundance of stuff anymore.
Can't believe you did me like this on the ball pit, though, bro.
Well, I mean, people need to know. You go to Dusty's house,
That's a pretty funny picture, though. It is funny to have a ball pit where the kids
just sitting on the floor.
have a pretty tough time to sit on balls.
Yeah.
They had to kind of put them in a corner.
I think some were knocked out for this picture, though.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so too. I think so
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it does look like Daisy's like, I wish. If you go, her dad grew up in a trailer park, you'd be like, yeah, of course. I didn't. You'd be like, you wouldn't even think about asking. You'd be like, no, I assumed that with the. But yeah,
I love
that's
it. That's
fun.
awesome.
It's great.
Daisy had a good time.
It was
Yeah.
a
It was
great
a
time.
hot party.
It was a hot party.
It was a hot party.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Were you working this weekend or you?
No, I was off too, and I went out to McMinnville and did some stuff out at the cabin, and it was great. Moved some rocks around, rode the 4-wheeler a little bit. It's a
Mhm.
good time.
You're moving them around for a purpose, right?
Yeah, I
The
got.
way you say it sounds like
Well,
you're just moving stuff.
I ordered a pile of rocks one day. This guy came in with a dump truck, and I didn't know where to put them. I didn't really know what I was doing with the rocks at the time. I just got some rocks, and now I'm building up a bit of a on the side of the swales. I'm building up so that the dirt doesn't wash away.
What's a swale?
It's my my little ditches that I had built so I could
okay.
plant my trees on top. My trees look great, by the way, but so I have to put these rocks there to keep all the dirt from washing away. But it's just me and my wife and my 3-year-old daughter moving the rocks. So Daisy's pretty good at moving the rocks. And I got the yard glider. So I just throw a bunch of rocks on that, and then we drag it with the 4-wheeler over to the
that's cool.
ditch. Yeah.
Mm.
It's going
It
well.
does sound like fun.
It is fun. If I could get some more dudes to come out there with me at this, or women, it doesn't matter. My wife probably would prefer that I bring dudes to go out to the cabin and help me move rocks. We could knock it out, pretty quick.
I'm available anytime.
All right.
Do we all need to go out and help you move rocks?
Yeah, I mean, as many as we could get. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make a day of it. We go to McMinnville, go to the caverns.
What do you think? You know who?
Well, he did not even speak up at all during that.
I mean, yeah.
No, I want to be realistic.
Do you
I'm
think
not-
him or Daisy could carry more rocks? Daisy would be more.
Well, prior to the ball pit comment, I would say, Brian for sure. But after the
Now-
ball pit,
After I
who
threw him under
knows?
the bus?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
My mom had a giant tree fall in her yard during the storms last week, and if it were just me, I would have. I've just paid somebody to come get it removed. But my family, they don't do that, so I've been out there helping my brother-in-law. He's got a chainsaw, and I've been. Yeah, so
you got to like dismember it, right? Is it a big tree?
yeah, it's a big tree.
A B they don't give you a lot is big money baits.
hmm
And that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
You're like, if it's just me, I just pay
You
to
just
get.
pay to throw cash around. Yeah.
Don't call me again with this nonsense.
Yeah.
So, but
You
anyway.
and mom are doing good. I can afford it. How much? Get $200? How much would it be? 200? Yeah.
Nah, it'd probably be a lot, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
They charge a lot for that stuff.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they know you need it.
yeah. So, Dusty, you want to tell us about ZocDoc?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Thanks to ZocDoc, we can now find I've never read this one before, not even to myself.
But you're
quietly.
also excited to talk about ZocDoc.
I am excited to talk about it.
Mhm.
Thanks to ZocDoc, we can now find and book in-person or telemedicine appointments for medical or dental care. That is helpful for people that are on the go or work different hours like we do.
Yeah, Joe Zimmerman, when he was on, he said he uses ZocDoc.
Yeah, he did say that. There are always things in life we have to compromise on. We have to compromise on travel. We will take an earlier flight in the morning, but it's the only nonstop flight for insurance. Okay, I don't know what I'm even saying anymore. I just looked at you one time and now I'm all right, here we go. Get it together. I feel like I'm in class now. But when it comes to your health, there should be no compromise. Don't go back to the doctor who makes you wait for hours just to spend 1 minute with you. Instead, check out ZocDoc, the place where we can find and book tens of thousands of top-tier doctors, all with verified patient reviews. Don't settle. Go for the best and find the right doctor for you. With ZocDoc, you've got more options than you know. See, this is broken down into little bullet points, and I feel like this is a paragraph, and the bullet points are messing me up. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare highly rated in-network doctors near and instantly book appointments with them online. All of these doctors have verified reviews from real patients. You can filter specifically for doctors who take your insurance, who are located nearby, or ones who treat a specific condition. The typical wait time to see a doctor booked on ZocDoc is between just 24 and 72 hours. You can even find same-day appointments.
Wow.
I use ZocDoc to find my doctors, and you should too. Go to ZocDoc.com/Nate and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/Nate. ZocDoc.com/Nate. That's ZocDoc.com/Nate. This is like a rap.
It's hard to say.
The ZOC to the DOC.
This it's a good picture of you right there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, look at
It
that.
could be an album. It looks like an old country. Like
Yeah.
if you
Oh,
put that
yeah.
in a CD store and had that on there, you'd be like, oh, someone would go, you remember him? You go, yeah, I remember him. And
Yeah,
they would just think
Do
they remember him.
him.
Yeah.
My hands look a little like AI made it. but,
Yeah, your face is red.
Yeah, well, my face is
Again,
always red.
Yeah.
Now, were you in the group photo of everyone? Dusty?
Oh, the Netflix.
Yeah.
Nah.
No, yeah. People said we're like because a lot of us weren't there. It's because we weren't. We left. We were somewhere. We were already
in,
gone.
Asheville. that day.
Asheville.
Uh-huh.
So it's like it's hard to be there because you're working.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, not everybody's got time just to hang around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah. I met Cat Williams.
Oh, really? What was that like?
Pretty fun. Pretty fun.
I
Is
am
he-
jealous of that.
Is he who
Yeah.
you want him to be when you
Yeah,
meet
yeah,
him?
yeah.
I
he
love
was
Cat
great.
Williams. I am jealous of that.
Yeah,
Did he know you?
yeah, he did. I didn't. I mean, I didn't assume he knew me. So, but I went up and I was like, "Hey, I'm a comedian." And Nate Bargatze, he goes, "Yeah, I know." He goes, "I know." And everybody messes your last name up. And I go, "Yeah, well." And then he was very, very nice.
Yeah.
he was cool.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I can't find a higher resolution picture. You
Leanne
can get
posted one. I don't know if it's.
I don't think there was a high resolution picture.
it. I think there was at some point, but it was crazy lineup of people.
yeah, yeah. You go to Ted Saranda's house in Netflix. I went to it the night after our thing, or with Sebastian and Seinfeld, and they had pizza. John and Vinny's Pizza is a big popular kind of, or it's a big pizza place there, and we went after. I think he invites people. Yeah, it's a cool thing. There's Sinbad right there. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's start. All right. Start you guys' comments. Juan Pina, right? Juan
Pena?
Pena. Juan Pena.
Pena, maybe?
Pena.
Yeah, Pena.
Juan Pena.
Juan Pena.
Pena.
Great name either way.
Juan Pena. It is a great name. It's a name that they're like, their mom was like, we're gonna make sure everybody knows what you are though. Juan Pena. There's no confusion. Is that? I think they would agree with that.
Yeah.
It's a great name, Juan Pena. Pena. Dusty saying the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is one of his favorite cartoons. Then singing the jingle at the end was hilarious, especially since he just met Chuck Lorre. I wonder if Dusty realized that Chuck Lorre wrote the jingle for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and even sang on the jingle for the opening sequence of the cartoon. This show was also my absolute favorite growing up. Keep up the good work, guys.
I did not know that. I had no idea.
That's crazy. Where'd you meet Chuck Lorre? In New York?
At
with
the
Leanne?
Leanne Morgan show, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
At the Pantages Theater.
Nice.
Yeah. Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Had a great time meeting
Yeah.
him. And I had no idea. Teenage Mutant Ninja,
Ninja
Turtles,
Turtles.
Heroes in a Half Shell, Turtle Power.
That's crazy. Yeah, that
Yeah.
is wild.
That feels like an easy jingle to write, though, if I'm being honest.
I don't think
How do
so.
we write a jingle for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
But it's a longer
Teenage
song.
Mutant Ninja
They're the
Turtles.
world's most fearsome fighting.
Oh, there were other
teenage-
lyrics?
Leonardo's does like
It dives into their whole background.
yeah.
Okay.
Raphael
I'm
is
sorry.
cool but rule. Oh no, what does it say? Oh, Michelangelo is a party dude. I
Yeah.
used to love it. Because Raphael was my favorite, and I remember my stepbrother telling me that I'm rude too.
Yeah. Oh,
Because it said Raphael is cool but rude.
Raphael. I was a Michelangelo fan.
What did he do? Is he an
He was
artist?
fun.
Oh.
He was just a fun guy.
Was
He
that
was
your
the funny
favorite
one.
cartoon as a kid?
Probably, yeah.
It was a great one.
Yeah, it was a great
Raphael
cartoon.
had a real attitude.
And they all ate pizza?
Mhm.
yeah,
Okay.
That's insane that Chuck Lorre did that.
yeah. it
I mean,
is.
really, really crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Rachel Babbery. Rhea. Yeah. Today, my husband and I were hiking in Shenandoah.
I think it's Shenandoah.
Shenandoah? All right. they're right there.
Shenandoah, the country
The-
group.
Yeah.
Shenandoah.
Yeah.
Shenandoah.
2 Dozen Roses?
Yeah.
That's a hot song.
If
2
I
day-
had 2 dozen roses. You know
Yeah.
that one?
Party dude. Yep. Chuck
Cow-
Lorre wrote that
Yeah,
too?
I think so.
Yep.
You wrote
Cowabunga.
Cowabunga, too.
Yeah.
Cowabunga. Today, my husband and I were hiking in Shenandoah National Park, where 4 cubs ran across the trail with mom close behind. She gave us a very scary growl when she saw us. I immediately began saying, "Hey, bear," very loudly. They all ran off, and we quickly but calmly walked right down the mountain. Thanks, guys. Glad to be alive. Thanks to what I learned for the podcast. That's true. Look at that. Saved a life.
Saved a life. Save a family.
It's
Yeah.
not really clear on the full details here, but it seems like that they all these bears just crossed the trail. And then this person started yelling, "Hey, bear." I feel like you just want to be chill in that moment, don't you think?
Yeah, I think you want them to yell. I don't know what you think they're leaving out, but
They ran across the trail, mom close behind.
Yeah.
So did the mom go straight across or did the mom stop and give the growl?
Well, she
Well,
had a very scary growl, so I'm
yeah,
guessing
very
she
scary.
stopped.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're like a tough cop that
Yeah.
goes. They go. I think I told you everything, and you're like, all right. Well, I don't know everything about the bear, and you go, all right.
I just feel
How
like
tall? How much does a bear weigh? How much does a bear weigh? 5,000 pounds. I don't. Who knows?
I just feel like if the bears are going across the trail,
Yeah.
you want to just be chill and then
Well, if
But
the
I
bear
think
if
that-
it gives you a growl,
They were, and then the bear saw him. So
Yes.
then you got to go, hey,
bear, hey, bear.
yep,
All right.
yep.
hey now,
Okay.
hey bear, hey bear.
Uh,
Yeah, that's when
okay,
you do it.
all right, I support it.
Okay.
I'm just thinking
If they're
that-
almost out of view, and then you yell, "Hey,
hey
bear!"
yeah, it's like you're almost calling them back.
Yeah, come back over.
Hey, we're over here
Mm-hmm.
messing with your babies.
Oh yeah. No, I think you just make it loud. From what I understand, I don't think they speak English, but so I think you could also yell.
Any
Gibberish.
Kind of thing. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
But hey, it's just trying to be, you're like it's just an easy. You
Yeah.
go, hey bear.
I have a wooden bench out at the cabin, and these carpenter beetles have bored up in the wood, right? And then something came up and like just tore into the wood. I imagine eating those bees out of there. And I don't know what that is.
Do you have bears in the area?
I don't know. It was it was there when we showed up.
Could be a fox.
after not been there a little while, but it's up on the porch. So something went up on the porch, clawed into the wood.
Raccoons, maybe.
See, raccoon is what I was thinking, but it's pretty intense clawing.
Oh, raccoons are not.
And they're eating
not
the
good.
bees.
I think so, because you can see where the bees have been boring up in there.
Yeah. Huh.
So it's pretty wild.
Yeah. What eats
You
bees?
set up a camera.
Do
I know.
carpenter bees even do honey? I feel like they're more.
I don't think
don't
so.
feel
I
like
think
they-
they're just eating the bees.
Yeah.
Bears, skunks. Could be some skunks getting in there.
Ooh.
Yeah, could
That's
be.
not good to have around.
Mice. Maybe it's a bunch of mice.
Yeah, like
and they
a
work as a team.
pack of 'em.
Maybe so,
Wasp
yeah.
eats bees. That seems a little.
I think so. I think wasps are just. It's
They're
a
pretty
free-for-all, dude.
ruthless.
They just
Like
do
yeah.
the bees
whatever.
would be.
But I
They'll
don't
eat
think
each
the-
other.
They are the what's the crazy dinosaur in Jurassic Park?
Velociraptor.
Yeah,
That's
I think
what
they're the Velociraptor.
of the
Of
yeah,
insects.
they
Flying
they
insect
will
community.
fight a T-Rex.
Yeah.
They will do whatever they have to do.
Mhm.
Badgers.
Wolverines. Probably don't have any wolverines in your area. That just leaves raccoons. I think
Yeah.
it probably that is
Yeah.
what it is.
That makes sense.
Well,
Yeah.
I wish you luck, man.
Thank you.
You're trying to let them stay in there.
I mean, it's outside of the house, so I don't mind.
Yeah.
You
but-
should kill them.
Carpenter bees, I think, are pretty nice. Of the bees.
I'm talking about the raccoons.
Oh yeah, he
Kill-
doesn't like
yeah,
raccoons.
kill them all.
I don't
He has
mind
35 minutes of raccoons.
He does have a lot.
Yeah, it's a crazy. The whole show was just
30. I only did
He
45.
goes- yeah. he goes-
Do you start with the raccoon stuff, or do you?
No, the first 10 is just setting up that he goes.
Yeah.
We're about to talk about an animal. We're about to talk about it a lot. He won't tell you the animal, and then you go, "What's this animal going to be? I hope it's not raccoons." And then I say raccoon in my act right now too.
Yeah,
The
you
one
do.
part. Got to clean it up.
So I shouldn't do a
raccoons are
bit
very
on this
funny.
raccoon thing.
No, you
here,
can.
though. Or
Oh,
should
you
we-
can.
Should
You
we all
can.
try to get a raccoon?
We all get a raccoon. Raccoon's a very funny.
Yeah, let's all get a
It's
raccoon.
a funny
bit.
word to say.
Do a raccoon tour together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Say whatever you want.
Representative Sarah Crawford. We've had her.
Yeah, we have
met- yeah.
I met her.
I met her.
She's
Yeah,
come to
that's
shows
right.
a
Yeah.
bunch. Yeah.
Made it to Nate's show in Greensboro after an eventful trip. Can't say if Barry Sanders can tackle a bear, but I have it on good authority that a Toyota Grand Highlander traveling 75 miles an hour can definitely tackle a bear. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
Look at this, man.
Oh, my gosh.
I can't believe Representative Sarah Crawford
Oh,
just
my gosh.
admitted to speeding like that.
Yeah. Well, I bet the speed limit's 70.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's
5
speeding.
is, I know, but I think everybody knows it's.
But as lawmaker, she should be.
Yeah, I mean, come
I
on.
mean,
Airbags
I guess
deployed.
everyth's fine, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
she
they
made
still
it
made
to
it to
the
the
show,
show.
dude.
Oh, my
She's
gosh.
in a coma. No. She said it was. Oh, there it is. 200-pound black bear.
200-pound black bear.
Wow. I mean, to make it to the show.
Did
Well,
they kill the
bless-
bear?
I mean-
Are they gonna get it?
No, they said they found the body.
Are they gonna get a rug out of it or?
Man,
Peter's going to
it's-
protest her office.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she didn't do it.
Yeah, I
it
mean,
wasn't her
You know.
fault.
Well, if she wasn't speeding, maybe that bear would be alive right
maybe
now.
that bear was running out of the woods after Rachel yelled, "Hey, bear!" At it.
We could see if that's connected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might
may be
the
onto something.
same.
Yeah.
Is Shenandoah? Is that in North Carolina? It could be.
Probably.
maybe more Virginia, but yeah.
We figured it out.
Yeah, that's crazy.
On the way, and they still
That
trying
is
to think
wild.
of what I would still go to if I hit a bear on the way. I think most things I go.
Yeah.
I'm just going to chalk this day up as a loss. Head back home. I hit a bear going 75 miles an hour.
Yeah, I don't know. But if you're near your home and you're like, we're fine, you're like, let's go.
Yeah.
And then then you take a picture and you're like, we still make it to the show. It's like, what are you going to do?
It's a Nate Bargatze show too. These
Yeah.
tickets are hard to get.
Yeah.
These days.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Aaron's on the show. You gotta
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. That was
Yeah.
a fun show.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Man, that's crazy. Yeah. I mean, you think about that. The airbags come out too. That's a whole thing. Wow.
That is something because the airbag will really mess you up. But they look good too. They didn't look burned up. You can get burned up with the airbags.
I
Burned
better-
up.
They can give you some kind of I don't know, like some kind of burn you could get from the airbags.
I would say I bet her husband was like, hey, I wish you had taken that drink out
Yeah.
of it before you took that picture. He's got to, that's what I would have said to Laura. He's got to,
Is that
he
McDonald's?
goes, yeah, you're like, it's a red straw, so it is McDonald's. And yeah, I'd been like, could you fluff the airbag up a little bit to not show the bucket of Diet Coke I had in the middle of that's what I would have said, because I would have had that in there. I think in that moment I would have said, we'd taken a picture and I would have said, let me grab that Diet Coke under there. Like, we don't need that in there. Let people see what's going on, you know?
Yeah, I get it.
Sam Yannick. There's a chance I nailed that.
Yeah.
Can Dusty, when referring to listeners of the pod, stop calling us Nateland people and instead call us by our Christian name, folks?
I'll
do
be
do
honest
that.
with you. This may be offensive to everyone on this podcast, and I'm sorry in advance.
Well,
but
that's never stopped you before.
I
so
don't
keep going.
really like the word folks.
Well, you weren't around when this was all decided anyway.
Yeah.
This was all.
Yeah.
It was grandfathered in.
I don't mind if other people use it, but I don't like to say folks.
Hello, folks.
You're
Yeah.
offended by it.
Yeah.
Not if other people do it, but I'm not offended by it, I
Mhm.
guess. But I'm not a big fan of the word folks.
Well, I think a lot of people don't consider you a part of this podcast anyway.
Yeah,
so
well, I think
yeah.
that's true.
I think you could do.
Yeah.
I think you can stay with Nateland people.
Yeah,
Anyway. So,
I think that's true.
yeah.
I think you're right.
I think
about
it's a
that.
fair trade.
You're like, this guy guessed a lot. Huh?
Yeah, it started with a joke. It was a very funny way we got into it.
It took
but
a while. It was gradual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was gradual.
It was pretty. I thought it was pretty fast.
No,
For it to become just
well, Hey Bear
accepted.
jumped in there too.
Mhm.
Like, we had Let's Go, folks. I still get some of those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
only
go,
you
folks.
like that
Yeah.
one.
Huh?
You beat that one in the ground. Only you wanted that.
Because it was a joke. But I think it's now in a perfect situation where it's used as a joke.
Mhm.
Everybody that says "Let's go, folks," there's a joke. So I like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody's in on it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was here for Hey Bear. I remember that.
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
I
yeah.
remember that. I got
Yeah.
ground level with
You
Hey
feel
Bear.
better about
Yeah.
that than
Yeah.
folks?
Yeah.
Hey Bear still does, like when referring to a person,
Uh-huh.
still feels like some sort of a talk that you would have between couples. Like if you, like I was talking to my wife, like, hey Bear.
Oh, hey,
Feels
hey,
like-
honey, hey,
Yeah,
sugar.
yeah.
That kind of.
I bet you shouldn't
Toots.
call your wife a bear.
Yeah, no. Yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah.
Maybe she would call me that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He goes, What's you doing? Your wife starts backing up. Yeah. Where's my little biggie at? Yeah. Golly, dude. He goes, I'm married to a big woman.
Mm.
Roger King. Aaron was great on A Comic Mind with Jeff Foxworthy.
All right.
So who is Jeff Foxworthy?
He's.
Uh,
I didn't know that had come out. That's
Oh,
great.
yeah.
I would love to listen to that.
It's you want to listen to yourself, and
well, I don't remember what we talked about, but it was a good.
Well, tell us what that
It's
is.
a cool thing to have. It's Jeff.
Excited to
I
hear
was
it.
so
And I do have it,
nervous. You know, were you nervous to talk to him the first time?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it was some of the first comedy I ever heard was
Oh,
his.
yeah,
And I told him that. I made it kind of weird up top, but the most normal guy.
yeah,
And by the end of it, I was like, it's so cool to get to talk to you. He's like, dude, I'm about to go cut my grass. This is not, just
Yeah.
a normal guy.
I feel
Yeah.
like Jeff Foxworthy probably hears that, especially from other Southern comics.
Yeah.
Every time he talks to them, they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, so cool to talk to you," because he is like the Southern legend of comics.
But he had looked me up and he had watched a few of my bits and was
Yeah.
asking me about him and stuff. He was awesome.
Also, speaking of that, if you guys don't mind, James Gregory just passed away. Very
Yes.
sad. Very
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say when Jeff Foxworthy was on Mark Maron's podcast, and Mark asked him who were some of the comics you looked up to coming up in the South, he said James Gregory.
Yeah,
Mhm.
That
for
was
sure.
his legend.
For sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Very sad. Like, James. If you don't know, if you're not in the South, but James Gregory was just a giant comic, and
Oh, yeah.
really toured, until the end, and was a true club comedian in his own right.
He's doing it
and-
before
yeah.
clubs. That's
Yeah.
how long he's been doing
Yeah.
it. It's
Real
crazy.
road dog. He didn't even like to fly. Would drive
hmm
all the
Mhm.
time.
I met him very briefly, like last year,
Mhm.
and it's the only time I really ever saw him. Which I was very happy to meet him because I always wanted to meet him, and I never got to, and until like last year. So, but yeah, that's a tough loss.
Yeah.
Connor James. In my years as a singer, I've been hired to play some quite odd gigs. Like once I was hired to play in someone's living room for 10 people. I like to know the weirdest gigs you guys have ever been hired to do. Love the podcast. I did one in the living room. Yeah, for probably the same thing, 10 people. And it was very weird. It was a New Year's Eve. And I went up, you stood in a doorway, like kind of the hallway. And I just went up and did my jokes. No one was really laughing at all because it's awkward. And everybody's spread out and like someone's in the kitchen getting food. And then there was a kid. And then I opened for Kurt Metzger. And then Kurt went up. And Kurt did better. I mean, but it was just a lose-lose situation. But it was watching someone be able to handle the situation to be like, I went up there and just did my act where you're like, that is not going to work in this situation. Like, even though they think they want your act, that's not happening. Even if you want to do your act, you better figure a different way to get into your act. You better involve them.
You got to be in the room.
Yeah. I'm not, I don't like crowd work, but it's like if you're performing in someone's living room, all bets are off. You're playing pure survival.
Yeah.
So I went up and just bombed. And then Kurt went up and he just started like making fun of them more. And then their kid wanted to do stand up or something. So he brought him up to do stand up and let him do it. And it was like, that's what needed to happen. And then, so it was like, so Kurt did bad. I think they had fun. And then we left and we were driving across the Queensboro Bridge and it struck midnight. It was just me and Kurt, quiet, and it's Happy New Year, buddy. I think it was Happy New Year. And that was about it. That was our New Year's Eve. That was a weird one.
Wow. How long ago was that?
Last
year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was when I don't even remember the New Year. So it would have, probably 2006, 2007, something like that. I performed in someone else's house.
In LA just recently, I did the Pantages Theater with Leanne in front of 1,200 people. Great show, awesome. Chuck Lorre in the audience, and then the next show I'm at the Improv on a lineup. I don't think anyone knows who I am, and it went pretty mediocre.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is fun the way comedy is like that. One
Yeah.
moment you're like
Yeah.
a star, and the next minute it's like, who is this guy?
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah,
You're always getting humbled in a way.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I did a living room. It's one that you gave me.
Yeah.
I did it with John Thornton Jr.
Yeah.
And it was, I think maybe they were friends of yours. It was
Yes.
a Christmas party.
Yeah. Yeah.
And did
Was it fine, right? It was,
yeah. I
it
mean, it
good.
was,
Yeah.
as good as it could be. And they were really nice. And then I did a prison.
I've done a prison.
hmm And your dad had done it, I think I may have even told this story on this podcast. Your dad had done it the day before,
Mhm.
and everybody loved it. And then the next day, I went back with Jason Michaels, and they thought it was going to be your dad, and everybody showed up to see your dad,
Mm.
and it was me.
Yeah.
I thought there was going to be a riot in the prison.
Yeah.
Um,
And you don't do magic.
I do not.
You wish you did that night, though.
I did. I wish I
Yeah.
could have disappeared.
Yeah.
Did they go, who's that lady up there?
They just went back to their cell.
Yeah.
They're like, they get 1 hour out free.
It
Like,
looked like
I'm
they-
going to head on back.
Yeah.
Let the guy in the white collar jail come over, talk to him, or is that what it's called? The what's the other jail? There's like jail, and then there's like the
Oh, the white collar crimes.
white collar crime, like the people like that are investment,
minimum
the banking,
security.
minimum security.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could have been that guy. That's what you should have come. You're like, I just
Yeah.
came over for minimum security. I had some banking stuff I did, because they don't throw those guys in like
Yeah.
real jail. It's like an
Yeah,
easier
with
jail.
violent offenders.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
That'd been a good opener.
It would have been if I ever
Mhm.
go back.
I think you've done a bunch of weird shows. I've done
Yeah,
a
I actually
few
did a
with you.
I actually did a living room gig about 8 years ago in Nashville that was incredible. I thought it was going to be awful, and it was so fun. But we've done some. I did one with you in Michigan. I forget where, a little bit upstate on the coast, and they had, instead of a brick wall, it was like a plastic painted brick wall, and then the microphone didn't work, and there was basically just one round table of people in a bowling alley, and we just kind of talked to them, and it was super weird because the booker of that gig came to meet us, and then it was so bad,
Mm.
and she was so apologetic. It just was like they didn't, the lights didn't work, the microphone didn't work. They
You did the Tonight Show the next week.
Yeah.
That's what I remember about
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
You were
Yeah.
gearing up to do the Tonight Show. But I
Yeah.
remember that gig in West Virginia we did where we had to wear a suit coat.
Oh yeah,
And it was at a
the
fancy
Greenbrier,
resort.
the Greenbrier in,
Oh,
in
yeah.
West Virginia. Very nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got there really early, and I was just hanging out, and they kind of let me just hang out freely in there.
They didn't like us walking around though.
No, but after we were doing it, and then there was a DJ, and there was a dance floor, and everybody was dancing, and we said to the DJ, we go, hey, will you, just let them know, hey, in 10 minutes or so, we're going to be doing comedy. And he goes, yeah, no problem, man. And this guy had been talking to us forever. He's like, I used to open for Carrot Top. We're buddies. And he just kept talking. And then so when we told him that, he goes, yeah, no problem, man. And then instead of doing it, he just goes up and goes, all right, we're about to do some comedy.
Mid song.
Oh,
Yeah. And then the dance floor clears out. Everybody stands around the dance floor. We're up. I don't even know if we're maybe on the dance floor.
Mhm.
Aaron goes up, does 10 minutes, I think.
That's nice of you to say. You told me to do 7. I did about 2.5 minutes. And I
Yeah.
go, Dusty, I'm bringing you up, buddy. I go, it's not getting better than this.
And I think we only had to do 30 minutes, but I did the rest of the time. And it was really bad
Yeah.
the whole time.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, they walked us out.
They go, please leave now.
They wouldn't let us hang out. They walked us right out.
Yeah.
They didn't get, there's no
You
hotel.
get in those situations. I might have told that I had a community college where I did a nooner, is what they would call them, because you do them at noon because no one's there at night. And I walked in and it was just in the cafeteria. There's no like, hey, we're having a comedy show. And I walk in, the guy hands me the microphone. He goes, I'll be back in an hour. And then and I had
Ben Bergman.
Bing Bergman came with me, and I thankfully brought him to open. He goes up and does a few minutes. It really just trying to be like, hey, we're doing a comedy show, whatever. And then I go up, and I mean, it's you really learn a lot of stuff in those situations because you just end up having to like make fun of yourself, make fun of the situation, talk about like you're just trying to get through an hour of just it's crazy.
The problem with the Greenbrier is, and this is what I never like to talk to people from the audience before the show. And because this was the problem, is that we started talking to people, hanging out there. And we were like, yeah, we do comedy, and we got this and that going on.
Mhm.
And we're like making friends. And then when while the comedy's going, we've already made friends with these people. They're already like pumped for us. So then when it doesn't go well, it feels like you lost a friend.
Yeah.
They're like, ugh. Oh,
Yeah.
man, I thought they were going to be funny.
But it's like, these are great jokes, but you guys, you got some fancy casino in like the poorest state in the country.
Yeah.
You don't have to drag West Virginia into
Well,
this.
I think West Virginia knows. I like West Virginia, but
Mhm.
they are a poor state, and then they
Mhm.
got this really big casino. I mean, I feel like they're probably
Yeah.
sucking the rest of the money out of the state.
Robert Burwell. Nate, my son and I listen to your podcast every week. We were wondering how you, Brian, Dusty, and Aaron approach working with comedians that do more blue material. Is it ever awkward? Yeah, your whole the beginning of your career, that's all year round. And I would say most clean comedians, the idea is you're trying not to, you just want to blend in. You don't want anybody to realize that you're clean. And I think that's the best way to, when you're starting out, if you're starting out clean, just try to do that. Don't make it a big deal. Don't act like, you just do it. So then that's ingrained in you. And then so as your career keeps going, you just write that way. And so this other stuff dirty stuff doesn't pop in, I don't have like dirty ideas and, really like, I would never, cause people always like, oh, do you ever have some jokes that you thought of that you couldn't do? And it's like, I just wouldn't, it just wouldn't even, I'm not even having to fight that urge, which is, that's what's helpful. Cause then you're not fighting, like, well, I always have these one ideas, it's like, so just starting like that. It's never awkward for us cause clean can go on anywhere. I think when you first start going, Aaron's probably in this situation, Bates in this situation where you can't always bring your openers or whatever. So when you go to clubs and you see these guys, you can't always be positive. The openers will be clean. Because and some of it's, you're not so when you go, it's a good thing. When you go, if you go watch Aaron, Brian, I think you're bringing everybody now.
Yeah.
But, when you go watch that, they can't promise that everybody's going to be clean because you're only allowed to take people certain places. Some places you're not going to be allowed to take someone. You're not there in year wise as a comic or whatever it is. And, and that's something that is fun to get to because you always can't wait till you can get to the point where you can bring your own openers and stuff like that. So sometimes if you go see them, just understand the whole show, you tell the club, even sometimes we tell there's so many shows I did. It was like, hey, I'm clean. There might be people coming out here because I'm clean. And they'd be like, yeah, of course. And then they would just put a dirty comic, not saying that person's not funny and whatever. And you could even tell them to be clean, but some comics can't be clean. And
and in clubs too, it's like, even though I bring features on the club gigs I do, sometimes the club still books the host.
Mhm.
Right.
And like, you'll be like, hey, can you be clean? And most of the time they're able to do it because it's been communicated, or they'll just be able to do it. But then sometimes even like their clean stuff is like, that's not really
on the
clean.
verge,
Yeah.
Not everybody. Yeah. I mean, my big one is no cursing. And so it's like, even on my shows, but it's, it's like, again, everybody's being clean. Not everybody is going to talk about maybe everything that you think they should talk, But my shows, everybody's clean them. We don't ever have any really, no one complains. All the comics I've brought now know. But they know how to be clean. And they know how to do it. But yeah, when you're in clubs and sometimes, just be aware. But that's why you got to be over 18 or 21 to get into these clubs and stuff like that.
Like
It's part of the journey.
I had a girl on my named Jean Whitney. I really like her. I think she's very funny.
She is funny,
I had her on my Troubadour show, and she did some jokes that I was like, okay, well, that's definitely not clean.
Yeah.
I don't know why you thought that was clean. She goes, well, and what she was talking about, she goes, well, I'm saying I'm against that. Like, I'm not for it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I guess that's better, but
you're
it's still
talking
not
about it.
clean.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I still thought it was very funny, though. I think she's very funny, but it was a bit edgier than I was expecting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rachel Loke. I started listening to the podcast because I'm a huge Nate fan, but I stayed for my fellow domer, Aaron.
All right.
Go Irish.
All right.
Fun fact, I think Nate and I probably worked together at Opryland. I was there the summer of '94 in the 50s area shops and the summer of '95 at the Mardi Gras Cafe. Opryland was the best, as is this podcast. Thanks for providing clean entertainment for folks who want it. Wow. Yeah, we probably worked together. Fellow employee.
Do you remember Rachel?
Workable.
Or there were probably a lot of people around.
I mean, I was, I was sweeping, so I don't think I was. I remember being in the 50s area, but I was.
You weren't looking up too much. You were sweeping.
Nah, you're
looking at the
sweeping.
ground.
Were those the years?
I think so.
It is funny. I probably was at Opryland just one time during that time period. You
Yeah.
probably walked by. I probably dropped some popcorn.
Yeah.
Hey, boy.
Oh, I had to
this
sweep it up. Yeah, we always knew the trailer park people were the toughest because they already throw their trash on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
to make
no
them
one-
do it in a place, you're like, oh boy.
I know. It's wild.
I feel like I just have a memory come back of some trash can. I had to throw something away. I remember could not find a trash can. I don't know. Let's see if it. Jacob Johnston. Hey guys, love the show. My wife and I are having our first child this summer, a girl. We can't decide on a name. How did you guys decide on your daughter's names? Any suggestion? We did the looked up names and stuff and all that, and we liked Harper. Harper's becoming as popular. It's more popular now. Still not crazy, but it wasn't as popular when it was, but it was one of the cooler names or felt different. And so, yeah, I don't know.
Feels southern.
Names
too.
are, yeah. And names are getting a little bit different. So it's like, just feel the vibe that you are as a family. Like, are you more traditional, or do you think you'd want like a, like what's a boy's, is it there and a girl though? Like Levi, like,
Make it easy
Levi.
to spell. though.
Levi's good. Yeah.
Yes, I would say that. Make it
Yeah,
easy
yeah.
to spell for the poor kid. Their whole life.
Yeah.
Whole life. Every time they go to a restaurant, they put their name in and they go, "How do you spell it?" And they're like, well, my parents were weird, so
Well, maybe
There
that
it goes.
forces the kid to have communication
Yeah.
skills and forces them to be
It-
polite. And
it keeps humility down that they go, well, they spell it the way that it's supposed to be spelled. And you're like, yeah, that's fine. I don't care.
yeah.
Because then you're just, yeah. So maybe go Jeffrey, but with a PH for a girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we just looked it up. Yeah. Found Bible's good. I mean, if you are into that. Semi-retired
Yeah, his
guy.
name's Jacob, so
Oh, yeah.
how about that?
Johnston, that's in there. Semi-retired guy. Now that Dusty's been on over half of the Nate Lane episodes, there needs to be a Dusty Was Right episode. In addition to always bringing the funny, he drops lots of truth and wisdom on every show.
jeez, that guy gets it.
Well,
I'll tell you
Semi-retired brain.
Yeah,
That guy gets it.
yeah.
that's all right.
I mean, how many episodes would we have
Yeah, I
to
meant
do?
just to skip to those.
Well, I think
Oh,
if we do
wow.
that, we'd have to do some Dusty Was Wrong episodes
Sorry.
just to balance it out.
Yeah, but that would be a short
We're
episode.
fine. I can do them.
Be mostly ad reads
Yeah.
that episode.
Yeah.
Kevin Carr, congratulations on the 200th episode. I've been a loyal listener since episode 1. I believe it was less than 2 years ago when Nate had not yet met his idol, Jerry Seinfeld. And now he has not only performed with him. Jerry said in a recent interview Nate was one of his favorite comics. How does something like this affect him and his future goals and aspirations? Looking forward to the next 200 episodes. Yeah. I mean, I think I'm better than everybody at this table now.
Well, that's what it'll do to you.
That's what it took.
That's all it takes.
it'll
That's
do
what
to
people
you.
think. I got a big head now.
Yeah, that's what it'll do.
I don't think I do have a big head. It's insane. It's hard to wrap your head around.
Jerry Seinfeld wanted to make sure that you can't say that he opened for you. He wanted
Yeah.
to make sure that was
Oh wow.
Yeah.
because he rigged the thing to.
Oh yeah, that's
the
true.
headline,
That's
yeah.
true. Yeah. It's insane. It's crazy. I mean, I was sitting there even at the backstage. Like, there's times like he would just be behind you, and I'd hear his voice, and I'm like, Seinfeld. And then you forget, and then you're like, yeah, he's here. So I could not believe he was here. There's so much stuff I do because of him on stage, and like there's little weird rules, and it's like you don't wear short sleeves on stage, all this kind of stuff. So it's I don't know if it affects your future goals and aspirations. It was you just want your peers' respect as a comic, and so that's something that you always want, and you want. And fortunately, he was able to get it in the way that I would have wanted it, where he saw it. It wasn't, and he sent me a very nice voice text. I maybe one day, I think I maybe one day be able to play it, but and it was it's great. And it's so my goals and aspirations and whatever I want to go do are still they're all still there. And it's like I'm not it's at the beginning you do, it's like you want his career, but I'm really now like I want my own career and I have my own desires. So
there's a line at the end of Comedian when he meets Cosby and he says, I can't believe life is long enough that I even know you.
That is great. Yeah, it's that.
It's the same thing.
It's the exact same thing. Yes, that's exactly what it is insane to be, because he's 70 and you're like, I hung out with him. We were in like an awkward situation with talking to someone. And then he pulled me over and he's like, just turn. And now, now we're out of this awkward conversation. And it was like just something your buddy would do.
Yeah, it's like you're in the show for a second.
Yeah.
It's
and
crazy.
It's I'm glad I met him when I met him too now. It's like I'm able to meet him. And I think when we were doing the show, it's more, not trying to say we're on level ground, but it's like I'm in the comedy 21 years. So it's like you're not like a new comic. It's like you guys. So yeah, it was a big deal.
I think it was like 2 years ago when I said, one of my predictions was you'll meet Seinfeld this year. And now y'all are like,
That's
you
right.
said,
Yeah.
peers. I haven't listened to Fly on the Wall podcast yet, but I hear that he raves about you all through it.
Yeah. It's I could talk to him. I feel comfortable. I could call him. I could talk to him, like talk about comedy. And I like that stuff. I like being friends with people that are, especially in your business industry and all that.
It's crazy. I don't even feel that comfortable with Brian.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't make anybody feel comfortable.
Exact opposite.
Yeah, but it's like,
You would respect me.
it doesn't.
He's like, turn into the awkward conversation. Get
Oh,
in
yeah,
there.
get
Can we
in
get
there.
closer to
he's
this?
he's the one that you're turning away. He's the Cole Dotson. In honor of episode 200, I thought. Hold on. Okay.
That money?
No, I'm sorry. I have a terrible splitting headache that's gone on just since the podcast started.
I'm sorry, dude.
Uh,
I feel bad about what we just
Just
said.
said, yeah.
I'm all right.
Why don't you give us a heads up that you're weak? Yeah, all right.
I will see.
All right, feels better.
You
How long
turned down
does that stuff
that
take to
coffee.
work? Yeah.
I know.
You need
You
coffee?
needed that caffeine.
I think I'm all right.
Yeah.
Maybe I take this hat off.
You take the
Take it off, yeah.
Take the hat off. Move the headphones off the ears a little bit.
Maybe there's something in that
Yes.
hat.
It's killing me.
Do you want to stop for 1 second?
No, I'm all right. I'm all right.
Yeah. Cole Dotson. In honor of episode 200, I thought I would ask if there is any particular episode that sticks out to each of you as your favorite. For instance, when I first found out about the Nateland podcast, the first episode I ever listened to was about the royal family. To this day, this is still my favorite and funniest episode I've heard, but I'm thinking it's because this is the episode that introduced me to the podcast. Yeah, I could see that, where you can do that. I think, what do we have? The president's one. I'm not really, I don't know if I would have a favorite one. I like the ones that people like.
Yeah.
Like
John Christ episodes, the Greg Warren episodes, any of the ones where Dusty's not here.
Mhm.
Probably my favorite. Just the vibes are better. You know what I mean?
John, yeah. Well, Chris is very. I did like the Eclipse episode,
Well, you guys are best friends with John, and John hates me. So
Yeah.
that sounds.
but that's just typical stuff.
Yeah.
Do you invite John to your daughter's birthday party?
No. Oh no. If John had 3 kids the same age as my daughter, I would not have invited him.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
What if he goes? I have.
I totally
He goes. What if he goes? I have 10 bags of balls.
I'd be like, "Are you gonna leave them here
Yeah.
when you leave?"
Yeah.
Because if you're gonna take them with you, nah.
Yeah. He might be. Yeah. He could scoop them back up.
But if he leaves them,
I looked up the top episodes on YouTube. I don't know about downloads, but anybody want to guess the number one?
I bet the wife is still number one.
Yep, the one with Laura by
See,
far.
I
Wow.
told you that was my favorite one. That was my favorite. Yep. That was yeah. Can we edit that where we go? That's
Yeah.
my
bet they
favorite
can.
one was when the lady that lives in this home was on it.
Yeah.
And I think Harper was on that one too. She
Yeah,
came and
that was a good one.
told a joke
Yeah.
at the end. And
Yeah, that's
that was like
you're
wholesome.
right. That
Yeah.
was
good
my
family fun right
That was
there.
good family
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
Stand-up comedy. That was
Mhm.
episode 10 when we talk about stand-up comedy. That was second. Christian comedy with John Christ.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Third. Seinfeld featuring Mark Norman was fourth. And your Saturday Night Live episode after you got back
Oh,
from
the
SNL.
recap. Yeah.
Recap.
Yeah.
So Aaron wasn't on most of those. So I think I see a
I don't
trend.
think I was on. I was only on one of those. So
Oh,
I was
yeah.
only on one of them.
I guess it's
too.
me.
yeah.
Oh,
I guess
really?
Brian's the common denominator
Yeah.
here.
I'm the draw.
What were you? You were on the wife,
Yeah, I was on the wife one, but
And then
Mark
the-
Norman, I was gone.
yeah.
He was in my chair. He made a few jokes about.
Were you here? You weren't here for Norman either, right? It
No.
was just us three,
Mm-hmm.
and then yeah, Saturday Night Live, everybody was here.
And
No?
I was
yeah.
in South America still.
Oh
when we
yeah,
got
so
back.
just
I was
us.
here. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I looked up for our 200th episode all of the guests that we've had on. You want to guess who's been on the most?
Well, me.
I want to say, no, you're not. You're not counting Dustin.
No.
Yeah.
You guessed three times before you became a.
People say he sounds like Dusty though.
I kind of want to say Nick, but then I think it's like, then I feel Greg.
Greg's close.
Nick,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah,
Like
Nick's
seven.
7 times.
7-time club.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Yeah. What's Greg at?
Greg's at 6.
Yep. And Vecchione's at 6.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. All right.
We've had
Yeah, we've had some good
some
guests.
fun guests on it.
Yeah, we get asked to guess. Obviously, with us 4, it's tough.
Jay Cutler.
I know.
Forgot about him.
Yeah.
He beat up on me when he was on this.
Yeah,
Yeah, I loved it.
It was fun. That was a fun episode.
It was fun, but he did not like the
Uh,
way I ran the computer.
What,
Yeah.
what did he
He
say?
kind of alphaed me out. He was like, "Just pass me the computer. I'll do it." But
Wow.
No, in
He's
a
always
friendly
known
way.
such a nice guy.
Yeah, the
I
guests.
did his podcast one time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the guests we have. It's I mean, because we get asked about a lot of guests. John Reap's always great when he's on.
Mhm.
John Reap, the last time I was here, his chair was real low,
Yeah,
like this, and he
The
seemed
whole
so
podcast.
small the whole podcast.
Yeah, I didn't notice it in the moment, but as soon as I watched it, I was like, "Whoa, we should have told him to raise his chair."
yeah.
yeah. I think when we have everybody on, Garcia will have back down. He'll come on.
Mhm.
But it's it's good. It's like there's all these people I talk to, so that's what I like. It's like kind of we all basically know all
There's some
these.
cameos too.
We also know these people: intern Cole, Eleanor Bates, Abigail, Derek, and Harper. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah,
Yeah, Cole's in college at Auburn.
yeah. He made his
Oh, at
announcement.
Auburn, huh?
Made
He
his
made his
announcement
announcement on the podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotta get him to stop by Opelika. Have some Jim
Augustine,
Bob's chicken
first one.
fingers.
Augustine's about
Yep.
his tour. He's at the Corn Ferry. He's doing good. Starts up this week as their real heavy season. We just saw him at Rupp Arena. Met the coach, Mark, new coach of Kentucky. Fun.
All right.
All right. Yeah.
You want to tell us about BetterHelp?
Yeah. Better help.
Better help me find this ad.
Look at that. He's a
All right.
professional.
That was good.
Boom.
That was good.
We all carry around different stressors. They can be big or small. When we keep them bottled up, it can start to affect us negatively. Being on the road is so much fun, and I love doing it, even though it is a lot of work. It is exhausting. I was gone for this past month, and that's a rare one to be gone that long. But it is tough, and I want to use my time wisely when I'm home. Therapy is a great way to help with time management and stress of being gone. It's nice to be able to get stuff off your chest, or stuff that's like eating you up, or fixing yourself. You can fix your, figure out, well, what's, like I always say, it can't be everybody else's wrong. Maybe it's, maybe it's me, even though I'm pretty sure everybody else is wrong. And I think that,
Yeah.
and I am right, but but then you got to think and go, but maybe maybe not. And that's why you talk to someone. If you're thinking of therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It is entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. You fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist. You can switch therapists at any time, no additional charge. Learn to make time for what makes you happy with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/Nate today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Nate.
A folk also said for the 200th episode, every B name that someone had called me, and it's a pretty crazy list. It's
Really?
Give me a second. I'll pull it up here.
It's I think it's slowed down some now, but
People
they're
get tired.
yeah,
It's only so
Wow.
many B words.
yeah.
Yeah. How many?
I think it's maybe 80 something.
Oh, wow.
Did you add big money baits? To that list?
83. Bathroom break. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Buckwheat, bologna, bran muffin. That's
Yeah.
good.
Worried Face Wednesday. I don't know how that works, but I like that one.
Yeah.
It's Worried Face is a great one.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a great.
Buford buttermilk bread toast. Yeah, the bacon breath.
BB gun.
Yeah.
A bucket head.
Bucket
Oh,
head.
bucket-
Buckethead. I gotta tell you, as a kid, just calling something somebody head was the funniest. Broccoli head or whatever,
yeah.
like whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Blockhead,
Yeah.
Waterhead. My dad had a friend called Waterhead.
just meaning there's no brain. It's just water in his skull.
I think sometimes that maybe my dad called that guy Waterhead one time in
Mhm.
front of me, and I just thought that was his nickname, and I called him Waterhead.
Mr.
as a
Waterhead.
kid from now on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe my dad just liked that I kept calling him that, but it never was.
Did you
his
call it to
nickname.
him his face?
I would be like, "There's Waterhead." I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got Bozo. Bozo's a tough one.
Bummer is
Yeah, Bummer.
just old Bummer Bates.
There he is.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
be. That's a good name for your CD.
That is a good name for a CD.
City.
Matter of fact.
Bummer.
Bummer.
Bummer. Yeah. And just a normal picture of you.
Yeah.
They got-
Just staring there.
just there. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Edna.
They called
Edna
you
Mode from
Dusty.
Incredible. That's my
Fix
mom's
It
name,
Felix.
Yeah,
Edna. They called you Dusty. I don't know how that makes sense.
I don't
Barbados.
know.
Oh, this is fun.
Yeah.
Y'all been very creative.
You
coming up
sure
with
when they
this.
called him Dusty,
Briar
they weren't
Brush.
just talking about me?
I don't know. Can you scroll? I want to give this guy
Yeah.
credit. I forgot his name. I think it's in the email.
It's
Dion DeBeld.
Oh,
Sounds like a nickname too.
Okay.
Dion doubled. DeBelled. Yeah, Dion DeBelled.
Well, thank you, Dion.
Yeah.
Bald Bronco.
Yeah, Bald Bronco's good.
bomb.
Bald Bronco sound, that'd be a good name for a special too. That's your you do a bummer one, but then your next one is very confident.
Back with
Yeah.
a
It's
the
vengeance.
Bald Bronco.
Yeah.
High
And
tea.
he goes, I
bakes.
got a lot of problem with you people. And it's just airing of grievances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the Bald Bronco.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
it.
that.
Yeah.
Bomb shelter.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Something you're always looking for. I don't know. Just trying to have some fun.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, this week, in honor of our 200th episode, I thought we could talk about some milestone moments. I looked up how many podcasts there are in the world.
mhm.
Hundreds, right?
It's a range.
Yeah.
I read anywhere from 3 million to 5 million.
Wow. That's a lot,
Podcasts.
man.
One place I read said the average podcast lasts 3 episodes.
Okay.
Yeah, those are the funniest ones to
And they
me.
stop.
It is really funny to start an episode. Me and Soder had a podcast. I think we were going to do. Golly, it was like talking like it might be 1 or 2 episodes we did, and it was just it's like you start them in just different places. You're like, I think I started going on the road, and it was like, you think you're going to do it, then it doesn't. It was like a sports podcast. I have to remember. It was I remember we talked about Danny Warfel in the first episode. We could find it. I don't know.
Man, that must have
But-
been.
So
Was
that
he
was
still at
counted
Florida?
in that 3 million,
No.
probably.
Yeah.
Still at Florida. He was at Florida in like '97.
Well, I was supposed to, okay. I thought it was
Yeah,
early
me and-
2000s.
Yeah.
Well, why y'all talking about Danny Warfel?
Well, because we were talking about sports, and just I can still talk about Warren Moon. Doesn't mean I did comedy when his rookie year.
Warren Moon.
There's-
That's a good pull.
yeah. Talk about the refrigerator. You're like, yeah. He was. I don't think he had the name yet, so we still called him William Perry.
Did he have a GI Joe? I think he had.
I think he
GI
did.
Joe,
72. Yeah,
I
he
had
did have
that
a
one.
GI Joe.
Yeah,
Yeah. Is that the closest you were to sports growing up?
yeah. Well,
Um,
that and WWF.
yeah.
It was WWF back then.
He was probably in WWF.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
G.I.
I had that
Joe.
GI Joe.
Yeah.
And he had
yeah.
a gap in his teeth like
Yeah,
that.
and he had
Yeah.
the football. I remember he had the football, like they were like
Nunchucks.
grenades. He
Yeah,
had
it's a
like
cool-
football grenades too.
It was cool.
Yeah,
I mentioned him a few episodes ago about how he was 300 pounds and now that's just normal.
Oh,
He was actually bigger than I realized. I think he actually weighed like 385 or something.
How tall was he?
I don't know, but I think he's still like one of the top 10 biggest players ever.
Oh, really?
This is that's how big refrigerators are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He was. I mean,
Kind of tough to find, huh?
yeah, it's a little tougher. A little tougher
Maybe
than
if
I'd
you-
like it to be.
Yeah.
6'2", 335.
Oh, 335.
Oh no, there's still got to be bigger people.
Oh, yeah. That certainly wouldn't make him one of the top 10.
Oh, now, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, guys are 6'8",
yeah.
380.
Mhm.
Like they're
Mm-hmm.
just monsters out there.
Remember the guy in Alabama, Mount Cody, Terrence Cody?
Oh, I do
yeah.
remember that. Yeah, he
Yeah, I
blocked
mean,
a couple
he-
of blocked a Tennessee
Field goal.
field goal, two
Yeah.
in one game.
I remember he was
One to-
huge. He could
in the game.
dunk.
Yeah,
He could dunk.
He was like
too.
400 pounds, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was
went
enormous.
he went to what did he go? I don't know. I think he did. I don't think he did. I thought he went to the Lions, but maybe not.
Looks like the Ravens
He
according to that photo.
He was just
Yeah.
just built different.
Yeah.
You know? Anyway,
Well, we've all had some milestones in our career, some of us more than others, so I'll start. But it's interesting. I would say you're somewhat goal oriented. Would you say that's true? I'm not saying you write them down.
Yeah, I don't write them down. I have just the idea of where I want to be. I don't really talk about it. I don't really
But
share it too much, but I know.
On the Letterman interview you did, I think I read that you talked about a little bit where you want to be in your 40s and 50s.
I always thought in my head was like, I think when you start comedy, you're trying to make it at any point.
Yeah.
And then the longer it goes, you just end up going like, all right, I feel like my 40s to 50s will be my big stand-up run of, doing stand-up. So, yeah, I think it's like that. And I'm having to figure out what the thing is. I think I always do stand-up, but it's like doing it at this levels. The next tour will be giant. Because there's a lot of places we haven't gone to arenas. I mean, even though we're doing a lot of arenas now, or it's all we're doing now, it's a lot of cities we haven't because we just started it this year. But so there's still like a lot of stuff, and but yeah, it is funny. You got to think about, it's the next or what's other stuff, to add to it.
Mm-hmm. It served you very well. But Dusty, you're doing great. And I just heard you say you don't really think about the next step.
No, I like to
I
just
get
go
that.
with the flow. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, I feel like that's been my kind of, it's like you work hard, but my
Yeah.
philosophy has always been to kind of go with the flow, and it really is working out. So, I feel good. Yeah, I mean, I'm doing theaters now. It feels good. I mean, it was not that long ago I was not selling many tickets at all,
Mhm.
and now I'm selling out theaters, and
crazy.
it feels great.
Mhm.
but I remember talking to you years ago. You were like, "Man, I don't even want to do theaters, dude. I just want to
Yeah.
sell some tickets at the clubs." And then that happens, and then you start to build other goals.
Well, in a way, I feel like I almost got pushed to theaters, but it's like the moment I did, a theater that was my own audience, I'm like, oh yeah, this is
yeah, this
awesome.
rules.
Yeah, this is what am I talking about? Clubs?
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you just feel like I did clubs for 10 years, and you're like, if I could just sell these out, that's good enough for me. And then you like do a theater, and you're like, oh yeah, no, like,
There's no
I don't
table
know,
service.
no
There's no-
distractions. People are all sitting in chairs facing you.
Yeah.
It's just set up, and then it's like it's all your crowd. It's not a comedy club email that went out saying, "Hey, come see this guy." And I don't know, just like it changed the game. It's like, I still got some clubs that I'm doing, but less and less, so it's awesome.
So all three of you got invited to Just for Laughs Comedy Festival in Montreal, New Faces.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Was that all, would you say, a milestone moment
Yeah.
in your career
absolutely.
Oh yeah.
that led to good stuff?
Yeah, it was just something you knew. It was like everybody. It's a big deal to go. New Faces. I don't think it's, New Faces did a lot for me. Just Five just stopped. I mean, but it's the stuff you learn is the guy that used to book New Faces books Netflix specials now, runs the stand up department in Netflix, and so that stuff's interesting to learn over a long career. So someone I think that's one of the funner things. I think I've said that before. But even if whatever career you're in, what's fun is like someone is going to be in 20 years. Like you're like, oh, that person's there. I'm here. Like you're like, that's just
Don't burn bridges.
Don't burn. Yeah, you never. Yeah, I mean, just be a nice person. If you're a nice person, you will do whatever you want to go do because then everybody will want to work with you.
For me with JFL, it's like having never lived in one of these big comedy cities. It was like it was the first time that a lot of industry people had been exposed to me.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like really exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because I don't know, at that time, probably. I did in 2008. So 4 years I'd been working the road all the time, but 10 years kind of doing comedy all together. And it was like, boom, here I am in front of all the industry in the country, if not the world. I don't know. And it was hot. JFL was really great for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was the same thing for me. I was texting Dusty this weekend where I'm not in LA or New York. I've always been in Nashville. So you do feel like a bit of an outsider.
Mm-hmm.
So it's validating for the industry to be like, hey, come be a,
Yeah.
come poke your head in.
You're always going to feel like an outsider. I still to this day feel like an outsider. And I was in New York for a long time. And I thought about that. But I think your group feels like an outsider. And so like, I thought like this weekend I was with, cause I had to go to New York for a day and I saw my buddy Dan Shackey. And so we started together and I was like thinking like, I feel like with Soder and all, like we all feel kind of outsiderish in the fact that we would do the cool shows or do the clubs and be in all the stuff, but none of you really feel like you're, you feel, I don't know, you don't feel like you're a part of it. But I bet everybody kind of feels like that. But especially living in Nashville. When I'm from Tennessee and I talk like this, I always felt like I don't belong here. And, it's like you're trying to prove yourself. But I think you always do feel like that. I also take, I think I also take a lot of stuff very serious. I'm very competitive. I'm learning as I get older, and I take it very serious. I take comedy very serious. I love it, and so that means when I can talk about it, I'm not always fun. I would like people to know I'm not the most fun to sit and talk to. Like I know it gets like intense, but I can't be intense. I think it requires intensity, and what I want to do is like it's serious. And,
last weekend when I was on the road with you, I was hanging out with Julian McCullough, and I said, who are some comics in New York back in the day that you thought would make it big and didn't, and who are some that you thought this guy has no chance, and then he surprised you how big they made it, and you were one of the ones that surprised. He said, everyone thought you were so funny, but you were so quiet and just mild, I guess, compared to, just being clean makes people feel that way.
mm-hmm.
And they're like, this guy's so funny, but no one's ever going to hear him. And so you're one of the surprises.
Yeah. It's
kind of a bad take, though. Honestly.
Yeah. No, well, it's like, but it
came out that way. But when he was telling it, I felt like he was complimenting you.
Yeah. Well,
yes,
sure.
It was. I wasn't getting because Julian was there from the beginning. So I mean, I moved to New York, and me and him and Julian got stuff. He got to the Comedy Cellar. He got a lot of stuff very quickly. And I mean, Julian's on the road with us now. He's hosting these shows. He's unreal. When you come to the show, a lot of people, I mean, you can see they love the host when Julian sets the tone for the show, gets what we're doing. And, but it's, when I first was in New York, I think it was like, I mean, I'm already going to be quieter. I would just be, the people that were close with me. I mean, the people that were close with me knew I was competitive. Or like, I mean, they just learn it over time. I think they learn it now more than they do. Yeah, I don't even know if I realized it as much then. Or I think I did it, but I was just very quiet about it because I didn't want to be. That's the problem with the podcast because you end up talking. But like, I would not want to. I always said, if you want to complain to a very tiny group to get it out. But then once you leave, you don't put that out in the world. You don't want to be like this, but I think you should be competitive, and I think you should have this stuff where it drives you crazy, and and again, you don't want to tell anybody because you're like, you sound nuts, and and that's just how
better help,
huh? That's where you get better help,
yeah,
and then you talk to someone, but it's like I think that that's why I was just kind of like just sitting there, but I had a lot of the Bridgestone thing. Was I did not say any of that then, but when I handed out flyers and standing on the corner, I would dream of playing Bridgestone and playing the Kenny Chesney song at the end of it. I was like, can you imagine? I use a lot of stuff like that. I would just see, when I see someone, they get to do something, and I'm like, how did they get to do? Like, how are you in a place where you get to do that? And then I just think I want to be able to do that. Like, seeing guys headline and you go, I remember seeing Bill Burr, no one knows him. Then I go watch him. They won't even let us in because everybody's there to watch him. And you're seeing it and you're like, man, how do you get to a point where you're like, everybody's there to see you opening for Chris Rock. And, when we're staying at this hotel. And I remember he had, his assistant would put all his luggage in his room. And had his room set up so he doesn't move his luggage. It's like he comes out, he goes up to his room, and it seems like dumb, and so like that's the little stuff that I think about that gets me excited because that's an exciting thing, money related or it's not. It's just these little perks of all the things that are so draining as a comedian, where you're just constantly in a hotel, you're constantly having to go get your key. There's constantly a problem. You're grabbing luggage here and you're doing that for 10 years every day. Mm-hmm. So then you see this little thing. You're like, did they just hand us our key? And you're like, I don't even have to go. Yeah. I don't have to go show my ID. I don't have to go talk to them. Right. You just get to go. You get your key. You get them handed to you. Then you go up to your room. That's crazy. And so I would see that kind of stuff. And that's where that would stick in my head and be like, yeah, how do you get to do that? And then you just know. And then I'm just trying to get to the point of doing that. And that way it's not even, maybe it's not going to be, it's not like you're like, well, I have to headline Madison Square Garden to do that. It's not something exact. It's like, it doesn't matter. I mean, you could not headline Madison Square Garden, but you could get to that point. But how do you get to that point? And it makes sense for you to do it too. That's another one. I always want it to make sense because yes, you could be obnoxious and I could probably go cause a scene. I want it to make sense. I don't stay in a hotel room under my name. And I did until I wanted it to be like, I realized I had to do it. And I had someone call the room. And someone asked and they called the room. Yeah. But and then the hotel called and was like, hey, I don't think, this person's saying that they want to talk to you, but the hotel knew. And so, yeah, and but you learn to like, all right, well then I'll stay under a different name. But I waited. I didn't ever want to be too forward and like go like I stay under my. I wanted it to honestly be like where you go like, all right, well I guess we're doing this now. Mm-hmm.
It's all with the checking in thing is weird too because it's like when you're talking about somebody else getting your key, it's like. In Tampa, I was checking into my hotel and like this couple was checking at the same time that was coming to my show. And they were excited, but it felt weird for me because I was like, did this just ruin it for them?
Yeah.
That they're coming to see me at my show, but here I am check. It's like, I don't feel like I'm too good to check into my own hotel.
No.
But I don't want to ruin it for them. Like they think they're coming to see a celebrity and here I am just checking into my hotel.
Yeah.
No,
and that makes it seems dumb, but it's like it is. It's what you're creating is a show. I mean, I do not. You don't hear on my show. You don't hear me, or I don't bring anybody up. You don't hear my voice or see really anything. And I always thought about doing that, but it's better to be like, you know what, just. the anticipation of when you come out is better for just let it come out when you're supposed to come out. And I do agree. If they see you doing that kind of stuff, it's like, I don't know. It's like, I don't think it affects them, but maybe we are in our head about it. And if you're in your head about it, you're like, then it affects you, which could then affect the show later, whatever. So you're trying to, it's not like you're trying to be, I'm not, I think you feel the same way. I don't think I'm better than anybody. And we great Old Hickory. That's our logos. We're not better than anybody. And no one feels, I don't feel this at all. But it's like to protect the show and what it is, and to be able to do this tour, I'm going to end up doing over 200 shows. So to be able to do that, there's going to be little things that you have to do and you protect, and you got to go, I can't be, we stay on the bus a lot, now.
And even
let me jump in here,
okay,
Dusty.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I want to share a milestone moment for me, which is Viore clothing. When I started wearing Viore, that's when things took off for me. I got a Viore shirt on right now. Looks good, right?
Looks
Looks
really
good. We played basketball last weekend. New Mexico wore my Viore shorts. I think I jumped higher because I was more confident.
You got a great body for a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's a serious.
Okay.
I'm serious.
I don't think I do. So.
I don't either. That's why I'm wearing a jacket. I think
I don't know what that means, but Viore,
it's a positive thing.
we played basketball. We very good even teams. We had. I'm getting off here, but Nate split the teams up, and it was Lachlan Patterson.
We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we had a good time. Yeah. Viore is everything you need in clothing when it comes to working out or just lounging around, which is more my speed. It's more comfortable than wherever you're wearing right now. Viore is an investment in your happiness. For our listeners, they're offering 20% off your first purchase. Get yourself some of the most comfortable and versatile clothing on the planet at Viore.com/Nate. That's VUORI.com/Nate. And not only will you receive 20% off your first purchase, but enjoy free shipping on any U.S. orders over $75 and free returns. Go to Viore.com/Nate and discover the versatility of Viore clothing.
Yeah, I wanted to say too, it's like another one of those is like clubs that I would do where there's no back door, right? And it's like you have to come in the same door that people come into the show, and it's like it's not like I'm too good to come in the same door, but it does ruin that thing where it's like you got no back door. I can come in that way. I don't have to slip in, real quick.
Yeah. Well, I'll take it a step further. The bathroom. You have to share a bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm in there doing some things, and I flush, and then I come out of that stall, and they're all like, oh boy.
I mean, I did some shows recently, and this was this pretty nice place, but they didn't have a bathroom in the back. And I utilized some solo cups back there because I'm like, I'm not about to be, I was able to pour it out, but I'm like, I'm not just gonna.
It doesn't have a top on it though.
Yeah, I poured it out.
Where?
Out back.
Oh,
you get off stage. Hey, where's that cup?
Dusty.
Your feature's drinking a beer.
It's easy to dump it out. Guys.
Dusty walking around with just a solo cup full of.
Do you think that people probably, people were like, man, that guy drinks a lot of beer at a solo cup?
What if it's like Dumb and Dumber, where you're just not stopping?
No, but you
they
keep
were maybe
walking
like,
outside.
Maybe like that guy wastes a lot of beer. Why does that guy
I know,
keep
but
pouring out his beer?
You walk out
flat,
very,
too.
very softly with the red solo cup full of, I'd imagine, Mountain Dew Yellow, and then
I'm a real water guy.
and then
very clear.
and then
Yellow number 5.
yeah.
I got a
And then you
kidney
come
system.
back with an empty cup from outside,
Yeah.
and then
Well, no one saw. That's the whole thing. No one would even know if I didn't tell you guys.
you should not have told us.
Well, I just wanted you to
I like
know
it.
that. I mean, I am who I am, but I don't. I don't need. It is weird to share the bathroom and be like, I'm about to go do comedy for you, but right now I'm just peeing to you next to you in the urinal with no divider in between. I'm just huddled up next to this ceramic urinal.
Yeah.
All up in there.
Let's say you got to go to the stall, and you got to time it out where you go. You can't. You got to go either in between shows, or you go when the right where the host comes on. Like the show's really already kind of going, and then you run in there and go there. And if someone comes in and you hear them talking, you got to wait till they leave, and then you go because you can. Yeah, that's your biggest fears because I've been there. You get in that room and they're like, they're just gonna start trashing the show, or they're gonna say something. And
I heard this guy stinks.
Yeah, and you're like, hey, and just in the bathroom. Yeah,
I'd come out.
Oh,
You
well,
confront him?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm a guy that pees in a solo cup, pours
Yeah.
it out on property. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think he would.
I'd come out.
I think he'd come out and say
Yeah.
something. Yeah. I don't
Oh,
think
yeah.
he's against it. He comes out of the bathroom with a solo cup, and they go, "You still use it even when you're in the bathroom?" And he goes, "Yeah,
Yeah,
I like to look at it first. I take a good look, make sure everything's all right."
that's right. Yeah, you got to check it
Did you
out.
throw the solo cup away before you came back inside?
No,
You
no, I put
reused.
it back in the stack inside the house.
So one of the, yeah,
Waste not,
I
what
just
not.
dried it off.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, you spray it off.
yeah,
Your
You get one
opener
of those,
streaking from it.
Those
Yeah.
hose from the back of the house.
yeah,
Yeah.
You know,
I wouldn't. I don't.
It's
I know
waste of
people pee in
plastic.
bottles. And stuff. I don't. I don't feel comfortable doing that at all.
Mhm.
And I will. I can't do that. So, but that's just
Yeah.
me.
What
I
about
do
you
rem-
guys?
Did you pee in a bottle?
I have before in a car.
Yeah.
You know,
You don't.
if I got to get somewhere, dude.
I can't sit there knowing that the pee is there afterwards.
Oh, I dump it out right away.
You dump it out the window.
Out the window?
No, I'm just kidding.
No. No, but you got to bottle it up. And then what do? Sit on the floor and you don't just think about that the whole time?
I think as soon as you stop, you throw it out.
Use
I
it
would
as
have
a
to-
spitter when you're dipping.
Just the most. Yeah.
Uh,
Gross.
I do remember one milestone. I remember, you probably don't even remember this. I remember you saying to me, when you got Bonnaroo, you told me you were excited about it because that's exactly where you need to be at this point in your career. Do you remember that?
I remember getting Bonnaroo.
I think you were
Yeah.
probably 8.
You don't remember to talking to you after.
Yeah. I mean, this is just a very quick conversation.
Oh,
but
what do we meet after the show? And I was like, oh, this fan is asking a lot of questions. Sure. I think I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. No, I did it at Bonnaroo in 2010.
Yeah, so you're
Yeah.
how many years in?
8 or 7 years in.
Yeah.
8 years in. Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember you saying to me that this is a good step in your career because that's where you need to be at that
Yeah.
that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was. I mean, I always like try to make sure I was moving forward. I get crushed though because people think I talk about too serious about comedy, and so this is not my fault. I would like to say that
Oh yeah.
you're asking these questions. I'm not
Mhm.
trying to talk about.
All right, I'll talk about myself then. Here's
Yeah,
one.
There you go.
Here's one. I mean, look, we all look at stuff that were goals at one time, and you look back, and a lot of times you're like, oh, that was kind of silly because it really didn't matter. But still, it's important in the moment. I remember one where for years when I first started doing comedy, everybody was like, do you know Henry Cho? Do you know Henry Cho? Have you met Henry Cho? We had a lot of mutual friends for our church. He was clean comic, and everybody, and I didn't know Henry, and I kept wanting to meet him and get to know him or whatever. And finally, Zanies let me host for Henry one weekend. And the last night, of the weekend, I guess, we all went out afterwards to eat, and he offered me some other dates. And I finally felt like I made that breakthrough where I'm in with this guy. And I just remember that was a milestone for me as a
Mhm.
new comic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about
it's
you,
like-
Aaron?
I remember. Important one for me was, and I'm not totally there yet, but I remember I showed up to a local show that I wasn't on,
Mhm.
and they were like, "Do you want to go up?"
Yeah.
that
yeah.
was a big deal
Yeah.
for me. To
That's
be
a big
like,
one.
Yeah.
I remember that is a big one. I'm going to the Comedy Cellar now, and when I go there, I remember sitting at the table, and they go, so what? Are you want to go on? It wasn't even like, yeah, just getting asked, and like I could go on right then. If I was like, I need to go on now, they go, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy.
You can't even do that at the East Room.
No. Doing it at Nashville was a big one because I did. There was times I'd come back to Nashville and I was in New York and they wouldn't let me. No, he didn't. I'd have to sit there and they wouldn't let me just go up. And I had Conan. I was on not nowhere big at all, but I have done stuff.
Do you know
I've
that
done
story?
few-
Conan should at least get you on the open mic.
in Nashville.
To any host that knows what they're doing should for sure be like, yeah, we got to get this guy who's been on late night up at the open mic.
Yeah.
But when they
But there was
don't, I'm like,
times-
yeah, you guys have no idea what you're doing.
They don't. They're in their own world. Yeah. There's a difference. I think comedy is stand up is either there's the ones that are really trying to do it, and then there's ones that it's a hobby and it's just fun to do, and they end up, they do some gigs here and there, and they get some random blah 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 whatever. But there's a completely different kind of paths where it's like the ones that are very professional, and like professionalism is lost a lot in comedy because you don't have to be professional,
Right.
and you can sometimes even have a career without being professional. But if you want to go, I'm noticing the longer you see in around these people in these big careers, the fact that they're still in any business is insane. It's insane that you're doing stand-up comedy after 15 years or 20 years or 30 years. That's insane. There's no one wants you to be that. No one wants you to be a stand-up comic. So if you're able to be a professional and keep working, it's insane. No one does that. And I think that in any industry, in anything that you do, if you're doing something for 30 years, whatever it is, that's nuts, dude. That's nuts. You should not be doing that. Most people don't.
It is wild. I've been doing comedy this year, 10 years full time, and it's the longest that I've ever had a job. I was very close with pesticide sales, but it's the longest that I've ever had a job, one particular job. And I've been doing this for 10 years, and that is wild to me.
You're having more fun doing this too?
Yeah. But it's just wild to think that you're right. I mean, the fact that I've been able to, go around and just tell jokes to people for 10 years.
It's crazy.
And now you need Delete Me.
It is, I do. I use Delete Me now. Yeah.
Well, how would you like to wake up and discover your bank account's been emptied? Boy, I would hate that. You don't realize how much your info is available to scammers on the internet and how susceptible you and your family are to identity theft and fraud. But now you can get your data removed with Delete Me. Nate and Laura have been using Delete Me for years, and now I do too. The onboarding process is easy. You put in some basic info, and then they scour the internet for you. It's a subscription service, and so you'll get monthly updates, however often you want updates. They are amazing. Take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me, now at a special discount for our listeners. Today, get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/Nate and use promo code Nate at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/Nate and enter code Nate at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/Nate.
I've woken up to an empty bank account before. It is not fun. It was my fault.
Yeah.
I mean, we've done mostly there's other fields of milestones. I did want to mention Seinfeld did mention the 4 levels of milestones for comedy. I think you've two made all 4. Aaron and I maybe the first 3.
Boom.
The first one is make your friends laugh.
Okay.
Okay.
Everybody's doing that.
I
Second one.
I guess you're skipping. So you made the next 3.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. All right, so you 3 have done this. Make your friends laugh. Second's make strangers laugh.
Right.
Huge difference. That's
Yes.
probably the
Yeah.
biggest goal
That's the
between
biggest,
1 and
yeah.
2. Third is get paid to make strangers laugh.
Okay.
And the 4th is make people talk like you because it's so much fun. And out there on the road, I feel like you 2 probably have more people trying to be like you than maybe any comics out
I
there.
would say I did 1 and 4 before 2 and 3.
That's fine.
My voice has always been in such a way that my friends have always made fun of the way I talk.
No, they don't make fun of it. They sound like you.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
hard
that-
not to do that.
My friend
Yeah.
one time called a girl and did my voice, and she thought it was me.
Mhm.
Well, what happened?
She liked it.
They got married.
Yeah. She was
Yeah.
into it. She was like, "Oh, you called me the other day," and I go,
But I
Yeah,
see
that
tons
wasn't
of
me,
comics
but
out
you're
there
into
that
it.
are trying to. You wear like you're on the road with you. I found myself starting to try to write jokes like you, and
Yeah.
so many people I work with, Dusty's their idol. They want to be like him. I don't get it, but
You just got to be aware of it. If you're a young comic, just keep an eye on it. You're always going to sound like someone at the beginning. It's easy to sound like people, especially your friends is usually who it's going to be. Just keep just have an eye on it. It's okay that you will, and you will be like, I felt like that. And then you just kind of like, try to not do it. Almost like you're trying to hide it. And then that will be your own voice. I think a milestone. What?
I was thinking my first year of comedy, I was just like, yeah, it is. That's what it is. I was just doing Bill Burr.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like, well, it's what it is. Like, I
Yeah.
don't even know what I was talking about.
Yeah, you're doing pretty good. You're getting your voice down. Your voice was up.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're
It's
going.
getting all the way.
Now
back.
it's back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Get down to Dusty.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
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 I mean, look, this the fact that you guys are listening to this milestone, 200 episodes. That's a big one.
200.
The majority is, to finish that thought on the podcast, majority said never make it to 10. The vast majority of podcasts, they start, they just don't keep going. I try to find how many have done 200, and I couldn't get an exact number, but not many of them.
Oh, most don't make it to 10.
Most podcasts don't make it to 10
Are we in the
episodes.
1%?
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
We gotta be in the 1%.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the fact that you guys listen to this is a big milestone. I thought maybe one of y'all would have said getting on this podcast would be a milestone, but I guess not.
It's by far my
Uh,
biggest.
Yeah. Well, thanks for bringing it up.
Yeah. It's not lost
You
on
didn't
us,
bring it up
you
at
know.
all.
I'm sorry.
But, I guess this was, you were due this. So,
Getting to do Dusty's podcast was a huge milestone for me.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was.
You're-
Yeah. I mean, hey, listen.
Not this
these are both great. We're having a great
No,
time.
no,
We're
no.
having a
There's,
good time.
it's,
All right.
this is just getting together and being fun. It's a good time.
We're all having a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember that.
Remember, yeah, we're all having fun. And I didn't want to talk about comedy, but don't get mad at me for talking about comedy or ranting. I think people get
I don't
mad.
think you ran it today.
No, I don't think
But
there was
it's,
there. This is the 200
I
episode.
do like saying it, I take it. I am a serious person. I realize that as the older I get, I'm very serious, and I take it serious. I take comedy very serious. I love it. I think it's hard to do, so I take it. So I'm
And
not
we're
the
the best.
most fun.
We're the best.
Yeah, we are the best.
Yeah.
We are the best. But I think we were pretty fun for most of this podcast.
Us too.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think you will be. I think one day you will be the best. But right now,
Yeah, everybody's the best.
everybody's good. Everybody's better than all of us. We all stink. I'm trying to come up with new jokes right now, and I would right now, pound for pound, be the worst comic that exists on earth. If I had to tell you my jokes that I have come up with, I'm an open micer.
Not the raccoon
lucky.
joke, though.
Yeah.
The raccoon joke is I don't even need the raccoon joke is actually not bad. It's a DoorDash joke. It's pretty good. The front is pretty good. The raccoon is just a saver, so I can get out and say good, and so I can end the joke on a pop. And raccoon's a funny word, but I mean, it's the end of it is that's the only one that's like decent. The rest,
Raccoons are in right
other
now,
stuff
I'm
is
Yeah.
other stuff is tough.
Yeah.
It's tough, and it's not good. It's crazy. I mean, I would be right if you ranked me. It would be like if you ranked now off my material that I have currently at the moment. I would be. You wouldn't even be able to find my name. That's how low the bottom I would be right now.
I don't think
Pretty
you saw-
crazy.
You didn't see me and Brian sets last night.
No, but it doesn't matter. You're saying you're like I've got to rebuild.
Mhm.
So I mean, I'm still doing my special's not out, so I'm still touring with my. Don't get him. If you're coming to the show,
yeah.
Don't.
Right.
yeah, it's not like I'm saying. But
Garbage.
I just don't have any brand new from taping this special.
Yeah.
And so I'm saying if you went off just that, you're like, all right, you got to go. You can't do no taped stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah. So all right. I'll be in South Dakota. I think I'm here the next two. I think I'm
I
back.
think you're here for a while.
I think I'm here for a while. So yeah. I'll be in South Dakota I'm in a lot this weekend. South Dakota,
Rockford, Illinois.
Rockford. You're coming with me this
Green
weekend.
Bay. I'm out this weekend.
Back to
with
back
you.
Aaron weekends.
Ugh.
Aaron likes to get up and do stuff.
Yeah.
Huh?
Brian goes, ugh.
Yeah. Aaron, he wants to get up and do stuff. He gets
He's a real
up
active guy.
early.
Man.
He gets out. We ran around. What did we play? We played some stuff.
Kickball, ultimate
Played
frisbee.
kickball. Boy, I was beat up.
Yeah.
After
I'm
kickball.
sore.
I'm sore too. That was crazy. We all got sore immediately. Usually it's the next day you wake up,
Yeah.
and I mean, it was a perfect game of kickball where we made the rules up the whole game.
They changed, yeah.
They changed
every
all the
30
time.
seconds.
Yeah, but I think they ended up being really
We
good.
ended up in a good spot.
We ended up in a good spot. Aaron had some big kicks.
You big kicker?
He kicked it the
I can
farthest.
kick,
yeah,
dude.
he kicked it. He kicked it
Yeah.
the
I
farthest.
took some
Wow.
hard falls though.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Tripped over third base.
Well, he
I
got,
left it all on the field.
Yeah, he left
Just like
it.
my comedy. I leave it all on the stage.
Leaves it all out there. Yeah, and we got to fix it when you go up after.
Yeah, a lot of
'Cause then you
soaked
gotta-
towels.
Yeah, you're like, oh yeah. It's just the
Slip it on
most.
stage.
We does, he's doing 8 minutes with us. We give him 4 towels.
Yeah,
And
that's about right. That's about right.
And that's,
He's walking out with a towel.
yeah. He goes, they go, was he showering? Did he come from the shower? And they go, yeah, we brought him out.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
May 26th, I'm at Stand Up Live in Huntsville. So please come to that.
Awesome. I'm out with Nate.
This Friday, I'm in Lafayette, Louisiana at a club called Club 337. 2 shows. Going to be hot. Been there before. Hot shows. Probably hot outside. And then I'm going to go on Saturday to Dallas, Texas to the Texas Theater. First show sold out. Second show very close. So get some
Yeah.
tickets. It's going
That
to be
dude
hot.
was great.
I'm pumped about it.
Yeah.
Pumped about it.
I'm
Dallas
going to
is
look
fun.
into some JFK stuff.
Well, I feel like JFK is really like the original conspiracy theory, and it's been worked.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
been worked. To
Have
death.
you ever been to the,
Never been to that theater. I've been to that area.
no, I mean, but have you been to the JFK?
Oh, yeah.
area? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's the theater he was found in, the Texas Theater. It was
Lee
the
Harvey
theater Lee
Oswald.
Harvey Oswald.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
At a movie.
I don't know.
Yeah, I
that.
think it
He
was
was
a
hiding
movie.
in a movie theater.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, movie theater. And it was that one?
To Texas
yeah,
Theater.
Texas Theater. Yeah.
Wow.
So
Huh.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
All
So I'm
right.
pumped about it. I love
Yeah.
Dallas. Dallas always got a lot of support in Dallas. So I'm
Yeah.
pumped.
Dallas
it's
is a
gonna be
fun
great.
time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we love you. We hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful week. And we'll see you next week. All right. Bye. Nateland is produced by Nateland Productions and by me, Nate Bargatze, and my wife Laura on the Audio Boom platform. Recording and editing for the show is done by Genovations Media. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to catch us next week on the Nateland Podcast.